right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer for the podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer for the podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer for the podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
To the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
It's the 6 o'clock check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM nasty big hello.
It's not static, AM radio.
It's the cool bed red hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Oh, yeah, 6:08. You are tuned into the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart TuneIn radio apps, and, of course, on YouTube, where the nasty chat is already pumping. It is summer, and this is it. This is like the week of summer. If it wasn't for the Elks making that GM coaching change earlier in the week, this would be your summer week. Hope everyone's doing great this morning. But, yes, once again, Dustin Nielsen off for a few days on his CFL duties. Myself, Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne in shotgun, and YouTube Trev, as always, behind the monitors, keeping it locked down. A hot YouTube Trev. And I just want to get to this real quickly before we start. I know you guys were discussing prior to the show kicking off. Trev, I mean, with the heat and everything, I don't think Jay's too. Jay, you walked into this. Yeah, it's cool in here, eh? And we both live in a house, AC, I assume, that type of thing, all the amenities.
Oh, yeah.
Please ask Trev how his nights have been sleeping in this heat and moving forward.
Trev, how have your nights been sleeping in this heat?
It's okay. Oh man, it's been no
Okay, so
fun.
let's start with this. No air conditioning, I presume?
Yes, no AC.
Okay. Are you doing any preventative measures?
Tell them about the beer can thing.
I had to whip that out last night.
Did it
I had,
again?
I bought a 6-pack, like 6 more beers, and I had them in the fridge all day, obviously. But it was just ridiculous in my room last night. So
I don't understand what the beers are for.
He puts them all over his body.
Oh, you touch yourself
He's
with them.
upstairs. He rubs them all in his,
I fall asleep with them in between my legs
armpits too.
and armpits.
Yeah.
Are
And
you, are you dead
and then
serious?
Yes.
That's what he's doing. That's his
So
lifestyle. Because
serious.
it's funny. We come in and we're like, oh, how about
It's
this
tough
heat?
right now. It's tough
Yeah.
right now.
Okay,
I'm
but
not gonna lie.
here's a probably by about 2, maybe by midnight, you should be ripping those windows wide open. And
Oh,
you
they're
should.
open. They're
Yeah.
open.
Now, do you have a fan in any
2
sort?
fans.
2 fans. Where are they, and what way are they moving the air?
One is right by my head.
This
and
is important.
I have it just stationary, so it's just blowing straight in my face. And then I have one like near my TV, and it blows like at my feet, and then comes up.
Okay,
you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
this is the problem.
Aha.
We need an air source or an airflow, I guess air generator
circuit,
by the window, sucking the cold air or cooler night air into your room. So I would suggest a placement of the fan closer or right in front of that window, bringing that cool air in. Will do.
Actually, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna have to give that a
Give
go.
it a
But
shot. I mean,
I think I'm gonna be sleeping here tonight because I was sweating when I woke up this morning. I was sticky, icky when I woke up, and it was not good. I was short of breath, and then as soon as I got outside, I was like I took like a nice, fresh breath of air, and it was actually quite nice outside right now. So
oh, it's beautiful.
It's definitely a fan placement issue here.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what we're dealing with.
Those 20-degree overnight lows though ain't doing anybody a favor.
Well,
you know? I mean, it's a
with the
little
assistance
cooler,
of a fan,
Sure.
it's better. I mean, my wife shuts down the air conditioning at like bedtime.
Yeah.
So last night, because I was coming on the air this morning,
went to have a
I went
good-
to bed early.
Yeah.
My wife and my mother-in-law were still out they were just sitting out on the deck. We have like a covered area there. So I said, okay, we'll just leave the air conditioning on for now. Then when you come in, feel free to shut it off because I'll be fast asleep by then. But I mean, it's just a sheet right now. There's no covers. There's no duvet. Certainly not. No beer cans. Now,
it's good. I recommend it to anyone listening. If it actually does the trick, it's pretty good.
that is an interesting point Joel made as well. Is that if you were to put your hand right in front of your TV, it's quite warm. So the fact that your fan is sitting in front of your TV, blowing on your feet, you're essentially creating a
You
bit
need
of
it
a
all
sauna.
off. Yeah, it's all.
I'd go double fan window.
Okay. I'll give that a go.
Pump that air right in.
Okay. That's actually not a bad idea. So I'll give that a go, Jay. I'll let you know how it is.
Lots of tips and
Lots of support from the Nasties.
yeah, they're
I
loving
appreciate
it. Savage the plumber, we see him. He looks like he had a great trip down south Arizona way. Renee and I have no fans. She doesn't believe in them. Help. I don't know about the belief in them. The TV has hot air. That's again, that's the point you brought up with Joel there. Turn off the sun. This is BS. It's going to be, look, this is it. We're in a hot one, 34 for a high today. That'll cascade throughout the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, 36, 33. So there's going to have to be some planning on your part, Trev. The beer can, more beer, maybe by a 2-4, a flat,
More alcohol.
And the beer parts of yes.
And then I went to my freezer and grabbed, I have this nice Crown Royal.
It's all going to be booze.
It was
Good
frozen.
stuff. Yeah.
And then I put that like right near my heart and like neck, and that felt like right on my chest.
Right on your heart. Poor broken heart.
My poor
Need
broken
some cold
I'm like, help me.
whiskey.
Chow's so cold.
You can get water bottles, and you can get a case of 12 for $1 at Walmart.
Ice packs
Yeah,
work
And you
too.
can
I
turn
think.
those into ice packs.
Those warm up quicker. But, but I could freeze it. Yeah,
You can freeze them.
Yeah.
And then you can stay hydrated throughout the night.
That's a good
That's
point.
a key.
Just-
That's a key.
oh,
Never stop.
I kept having dreams of Tom Gazzola last night.
Oh boy, we didn't
was-
carve out a segment for this, but go on.
It was weird.
Dreams, nightmares.
You know when you're in such a deep dream that you wake up and you're like, because I don't know, I'm sure Gager's talked about it as well. When you're filling in for this role, you do not want to sleep in or have your alarm not go off or whatever. So I'm often up a couple times throughout the night just looking at the clock and okay, good, you still got an hour, or still got this. I'd get back into sleep and the dream would continue, and it was just Tom like talking about EST things amongst others, and he was eating the whole time.
Eating
Like a sandwich or something.
Sandwiches,
His
eh?
mouth was full.
grilled cheese. Is it
I thought there would have been a hint of like pastrami, like meats in there.
probably looking good though? Hair good, everything as usual.
know
Dream
Tommy.
Tommy is
You know
Dream
Tommy.
Tommy. Well, it's a good thing you didn't have any sheets. They would be soaked, right? Any
Yeah.
dreams about Tommy would garner a lot of
Be
that.
soaking wet.
Yeah. It is the Nielsen Show once again. We are presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Check them out today. Closer than you think since 1983. Short drive to Fort Saskatchewan is worth it. The best deal at the best price. Your go-to dealership for Silverado 1500s and heavy duties. 0% financing available on select models. See dealer for details. And go see Daniel today. www.southfortchev.com, 10109 89th Avenue in Fort Saskatchewan. Once again, Dustin Nielsen on the call this weekend. He'll be doing the CFL duties. Of course, during the summer, we've been so used to the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule set. It is a doubled up Friday night doubleheader as the Elks, the new look Elks, somewhat under new interim head coach Jarius Jackson, leads them into Ottawa. The 1-5 Elks taking on the 3-2 Red Blacks tomorrow. After that game, Dusty will have the call down in Regina, the 4-1 Riders, and the 2-4 Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You can have your say. Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. That's already piling up, especially during the discussion we've had here. Rip City Step, you'll be cooler if there's not three people in the same bed, Trev. On the old fat guy Tiny Car says YTD needs to find an old fridge he can sleep in it like a chilled vampire or like a deep freeze, and that'd be like a coffin. You spring up in the morning and you just go pound the door
good for
open
the
like
blood.
that. Yeah, exactly. Big Maple says, has Tommy applied for the afternoon show yet? Can't be late for work if you don't have to start until after lunch. Great shout there, Big Maple, and that could be a text of the day bar setter right now. But we did put up the call yesterday, did we not, boys? I mean, that cat's out of the bag. The applications were online. I don't think looking for an afternoon show host and a junior producer, I do believe. So apply. There you can find it at YEG Sports Talk or any of our socials. But this is exciting. I don't know where this kind of process goes. Do we put them through a gauntlet, like some sort of a physical feats of strength to get the job?
And it's funny when people are, I had a couple people reach out and they're like, "So what's this all about?" And I'm like, "I don't know. If you're interested, apply." Like I don't really know
It's
anything.
very descriptive. I mean,
It's a serious job. Yeah, it's a role for sure. So yeah, that was that it went off like wildfire.
one guy was really mad that you had to have proof of a driver's license. He just couldn't understand that one. So
That's BS.
well,
Hey, you walked here again today, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
Good for you.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Saw some interesting folks as usual.
LTE in the streets. Hashtag
Hey, you gotta.
LTE
That's in the streets. We are living in the streets. We are living in the streets, and it's going to be hot in the streets today too. But Paris Jewelers inbox once again. Come after that text of the day for A&W. Also got a chance as I was walking home yesterday afternoon to pop in an A&W and take advantage of the Whistle Dog deal. You buy one get one for $1. It's funny. The clerk she wasn't going to tell me of the deal. The manager swoops in. No. And then she said something to which I didn't understand. And then she's like, "Oh, would you like another one?" So I got one for $1. It was delicious. Ate them both on the walk home. But if you indulged yesterday in Whistle Dog Hot Dog Day, then I had 3 hot dogs for supper on the grill. It was great. Lots of processed meat flying through my intestines over
You
the
went
last 24
Cinco
hours.
Dog yesterday.
I did it all. Yeah, it was
Wow.
I was feeling it. Split, whole, whatever. I scored them a bit. Told the boys I'm scoring my hot dogs now.
Oh yeah.
It'll cook a little better, but
I don't know what it does. It just makes it more appetizing.
well, and then they when they cook, they kind of like
Crackle
plop up.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. It looks nice.
Looney Len's in the Paris Jewelers inbox. The glue guy is kind of right. What you do is close all the windows, open one in your bedroom, open another one somewhere else in your apartment, and
Get
put
the
the
flow.
fan blowing out. So don't put the fan in front of the window to bring in cool air. Put it to the opposite side of the window. Blowing out creates a vacuum, pulls in cool air from the window right in your bedroom. Basically, exhausting out one window, always exhaust.
Nacho Man also says put your top sheet in your freezer until bed. I know that's or even a shirt. Throw a T-shirt in there. And
That would end up being too wet.
When I was in our old boy's house with no AC or no air or no nothing, I was upstairs in a leaky bedroom as well. I had a spray bottle of water, and I just
Yeah.
hey, who cares? Because you're sweating, you're wet already. It's
Well,
just,
the one fan, it's when I got it last year, it was like $50 on Amazon, and it was like because I'm like, oh, maybe I can find a cool, some, and I was like, I looked up AC fan, and this fan's just like, oh, it's an air conditioned fan, and I'm like, for $50, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So I buy this thing. And then it comes in. I'm like, okay, like I turn it on, and then it's like initiate cold mode. So I turn that on, and it's like you have to put water in it, and then the AC mode, it just sprays water in your face.
And a Coca-Cola Mister, shall we say, like a Katie's or something.
Yeah, and so but then it just made my room so humid, and it was like, and I was even more sticky.
Now you have
and
another
sweaty.
problem to solve. Yeah. Well, if you got any more tips again for Trev in the heat and dealing with it at his house, I know Sheldon S has an idea here. That should be the afternoon show. Zach and Trev walk around and it's about nothing. We've toyed with that idea of hooking them up with cameras and just observing, but maybe
Actually, we were talking about kind of Big Brother at Trev and Zach's house.
Black and white though,
and they'd have to live together. Yes, no sound.
and the time running.
Yeah. And just toy with them and screw around.
No sound is the key.
Yeah. Except for the voice of God. Every hour, somebody would chime in and say, "Go get a beer
Set
from
the
the
table."
fridge.
Yeah. The crown. Get the crown now.
Put the beer on Zacticum's chest."
I love where this is going this morning. 780-218-9999. Once again, I think Big Maple's got it right now. Has Tommy applied for the afternoon show yet? Can't be late for work if you don't start until after lunch. Yaha. Maybe that's the bar here this morning. Let's set the show for you as well. A good show, a fun show, an O show, as Trev might like to say, on the offer sheets open and NFL offseason. Of course, the sheets are hot at Trev's place, a little wet, but we'll talk offer sheet if you want. Do you think offer sheets will happen? Is anybody going to get offer sheeted? Are you scared about offer sheets? Do you want to go get an offer sheet? What are your favorite thing about offer sheets? We'll talk offer sheets whenever you want during the show. The Open Championship is on as well. I know Jason will have more on that in the sports update. It's kind of the thing right now happening. And nice that it is the Open Championship going down overnight into the morning here. A little something to chew on as well. In terms of Canadian content, Corey Connors tied for 16th right now. He is even through 3. We'll have more on the Open Championship and the Canadian content later on in this hour. Adam Stanley, you know him well, golf writer, Sportsnet reporter. He'll join us around 6:40 for all the latest on the Open Championship, the Royal Troon Golf Club, and the Canadians competing in the field. Following him, Mike Tanier, also our NFL guest regularly during NFL regular season. Just get his thoughts. Rookie camps opening, a few discussions in terms of Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, trade wins, rumors, that type of thing. And I know you're, Jason, very anxious to get his thoughts on the new draft guide that Tanier and Aaron Schatz puts out every year. Very good. So, I mean, hey, fantasy season is always around the corner, but no more so than now. So we'll have Mike Tanier on around 7:05. And if you are looking for a little fantasy advice, I mean, get your questions in now for Mike if you want. 780-218-9999. Cuba Canada hotline of the day. I know the boys down at Cuba Gregoire, they're all amped on the Open, and I think, Jason, you will be going there as well to Royal Troon for the Cuba Canada hotline of the day around 7:20. 7:30, I got beef, you got beef, we all got beef for Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats. He just recently released a beer of his own, not himself, but I think it's more of a Butcher-branded beer. So go check that out. We'll have more on that around 7:30 for Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats. Trivia, 3 questions too many. You know how we do. That hurts for SB-LLP injury lawyers. And the in-season tournament continues this morning. The potholder on the line once again as Scalding Hot Takes makes its return. Myself, V, YouTube, Trev. That's going down at just after around 8:30. We'll expect the judge to be in for that. He'll join us in studio, and that being Joaquin Gage. So any of your thoughts this morning, once again, 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. Come hard after that $20 to A&W text of the day, and in the nasty chat as well. I know Trev's getting a lot of advice, and a lot of that going on with the heat and everything everything like that, and with the afternoon show that we put out there yesterday with our application. So apply at YEG Sports Talk. We've got all the information up there. If you want to join the madness, apply, and we'll see what comes of it. Now, yesterday we were talking about that ESPN top. I mean, they're releasing top 100. They did 100 to whatever to 25. We have the ones through the 25 now, right? Like, I mean, it's all said and done.
We got the whole list.
Dustin left his list in.
Is this in order of what he thinks number one would be?
I think you have to turn it over and read it backwards, judging by his writing. Yeah, I don't know. He was cobbling together what he thought might be a top 25. I think he got most of the way there, except I think he thought he was missing one or two names. So maybe we play the game of doing this list, chalking off what he has, and just seeing how close he gets.
Okay. Well, number one, as we know, let's start at number 25.
Let's do it. Yeah,
obviously.
let's do it.
Drama.
We'll do half of it now, hit a sports update, and the other half after we'll get to Adam Stanley. It'll be perfect. But
sure.
I think this list, first off, I guess your thoughts on the bottom of it, the middle of it, everything kind of going to where you want. I hate lists. I hate
too.
Mount Rushmore.
I was just going to say.
I hate rankings are fine because it's like there's always something there, but the list of I mean, tell me they didn't throw all these names into a random generator and just pull them out here.
You might as well, because I mean, like, especially when you're comparing apples to oranges to bananas to pomegranates,
To celery,
to cold beer cans coming out of YouTube Trev's fridge. You know, you have boxing, football, tennis, soccer, or as they say, football, American football, baseball, all these different sports. How can you compare? And, you know, I hate to keep saying this name on this show in this seat, but how can you compare Michael Jordan to Michael Phelps?
Are we looking at accomplishments in career? Are we looking at stats? Are we looking at?
But they're totally different sports, right?
Oh, exactly.
Like, I mean, I get. You know, there's you can look at championships where you can look at gold medals, but I don't necessarily know how you can accurately, or if anyone actually can, compare the two and say, well, this is the definitive, you know, this guy's better than this.
Possible.
It is hard. So, you know, hats off to them. And obviously they're doing this in the doldrums of the year where there's nothing really better to talk about other than the West Coast Baseball League All-Star game last night, or West Coast League All-Star game last night, which we'll get to. But
we'll eat this and ask for seconds at this point. This is summer 11.
You're gonna go through it and then say, well, let's move this guy here and move this guy here. Yeah.
Well, as Dewfish P says in the Nasty Chat, brilliant list by ESPN. Troll Job 101 Masterclass getting so much coverage. That's the point. Hey, that's there's no right answer here. They lay it down for you and then just discuss. Have your say. So I guess, I mean, look, I when it comes to the hockey, and I know you're talking about different in global sports, maybe individual sports, we're so focused on the top four leagues, right? The big leagues, and that's kind of how we digest most of our sports. But I mean, Connor McDavid way down there. I know the Journal was on that. I mean, everybody gets everybody here really riled up, you know, and as it should. You got Ovechkin kind of in that middle ground, and then we're all saying yesterday, well, you complete the hockey trifecta with putting Sid the Kid somewhere in your, you know, top 25. Maybe a Patrick Kane, given the fact American, he's got honors, that type of thing. It's ESPN, but I think from at least a hockey standpoint, this turned out the way I would have thought coming from an ESPN-driven list of greatest athletes. But yes, we have the 25 sitting here. Maybe we'll hit a sports update now. We'll get back and do this whole thing as we should in its entirety. 627. It is the Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart TuneIn radio apps, and on YouTube, Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev, and Jason Milne with a sports update.
Major season comes to an end this weekend as the world's top golfers descend upon Scotland's Royal Troon Golf Course. The field includes players from the LIV Tour as well as the PGA. Notable tee times this morning are Scotty Scheffler at 8:10, Tiger Woods and Xander Schauffele both tee off at 7:37, and Canada's Corey Connors is already on the course, and he is even through 3 holes. That puts him tied for 16th. The West Coast League All-Star Game went last night from Bellingham, Washington. where Team North faced off against Team South. Team North came out on top in dramatic walk-off fashion with a 3-2 victory. In other WCL news, 5-4 West Coast League alumni were selected in the 2024 MLB draft. Kudos. In the Western Canadian Baseball League, the Edmonton Prospects kick off a 2-game set against Brooks. That first pitch goes at 7:05 from Sherwood Park. In last night's WNBA action, Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Fever fell to the Dallas Wings 101-93. And on the other game, Minnesota defeated Atlanta 86-79. Your 11-7 Stingers travel to Saskatoon tonight as they face off against the 6-10 Saskatchewan Rattlers. Reminder, you can catch that game right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or the TuneIn or iHeart apps. Tip-off is at 7:30.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats like Brzezinski and Noodles. Gadget can gauge it, maybe it's but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time, Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramel, Rapaport, Dragger and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
6:31, Nielson Show continues here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and on YouTube. Dustin Nielsen away covering the CFL this week. He'll have the call tomorrow night down in Regina. Riders and Bombers. Elks also kicking off Week 7 tomorrow in Ottawa. The 0-5 Elks visiting the 3-2 Red Blacks under the direction of interim head coach Jarius Jackson. We are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio, where they now have boneless wings, the continuation of their bone-in wings program, which will allow customers the choice between the ghost pepper bone-in wings or the all-white meat boneless wings with a milder flavor. So check them out today at Popeyes. Gotta love it. I do love the boneless variety. But if we are going bone-in, give me the flats all day, baby. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox as well. And come after that text of the day. $20 to A&W. I think Big Maple's still holding the lead as it is. But 780-218-9999. We've got Adam Stanley, Sportsnet golf reporter, coming up. He'll have all the latest from Royal Troon and the Open Championship. But as promised, we're going to dive into this ESPN list. They've released it, the 1 to 25. We went over all the rest yesterday, the bottom, the middle. We're going to do the top now. And we start at 25, I guess, and work our way up from there, Jay. Floyd Mayweather boxing.
Yeah, Dusty had it on his list. So we're just comparing this.
We're just going to chalk this up.
We're just going to see how good Dusty is.
That's pretty much it. We don't have to spend too much time
on
with all the accomplishments.
A, I don't think anybody cares.
No.
And B, it's a list. It's
I hate these things. I'm glad you're with me on this because it's just, and I get yes, they're created to have conversation. You know, you got two people. One's better. You put the one that's worst on top. Everyone's like, "What are you doing here?" But and I hear Iwanek made a list too, so I'm kind of interested in this. Compared,
his list is probably totally not related to this list. He's a weird dude.
He's always making lists.
Yeah, he's always got lists.
Nasty Bash coming up next Friday as well. On that note, Floyd Mayweather boxing, of course, 25. Albert Pujols, 24
on the list.
We maybe thought he'd be a little higher in terms of baseball, but 24 for Albert Pujols. Kevin Garnett. Did you have him yesterday? You mentioned him, didn't you?
Yeah, I brought that up.
So Kevin Garnett comes in at 23.
He's not on this list.
On
so
Dusty's
that's a
list.
miss.
That's
Yeah.
so that
I
could be
brought
the
up
one. The one
Dusty
you
said
said could be
no.
the one that he misses, hey?
Yep.
Number 22, there he is, Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby. It doesn't say ice hockey, just hockey, so that's good from ESPN. They're not going too far out there, but Sidney Crosby chalking in at 22. Diana Taurasi, basketball, 3-time WNBA champion. She clocks in at number 21. Aaron Donald.
Like, what is that all about? Aaron Donald?
I get him. But in
do?
terms of like again, what's the rubric here? Is it just pure athleticism? He's a great athlete,
Top
but
100 professional athletes of the 21st century.
10-time Pro Bowler, 8-time first team all, blah 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 blah. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year,
I mean, I guess it's because he's had a long career.
and he won a ring.
One.
Exactly. So we'll move on. 20, Aaron Donald. 19, Lewis Hamilton. Auto racing, it says here, specifically Formula One. 7-time champion, joint with Michael Schumacher. I guess he's got to be the one there for auto racing. I know Max Verstappen was tossed around a bit, but 21st century, he's still got some time to go. Patrick Mahomes comes in at 18. A little low, a little high for you?
I mean,
He's kind of the face of the NFL now,
you look
21st
at,
century.
you look at like the football players on the list, and at one point it's going to go Aaron Donald, Patrick Mahomes. To me, that's just funny, but I have a weird sense of humor.
Shaquille O'Neal at 17. Tim Duncan at 16. So Tim Duncan, better than Shaquille O'Neal on this list. Katie Ledecky from swimming. 10-time Olympic medalist. 7-time Olympic gold medalist. American. Steph Curry. I know he had him on there. 14. Cristiano Ronaldo from the football or soccer. 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. Sue. Right? That's what he does. Rafa Nadal, tennis. Now we're getting into it.
Okay, and I must say, I did see this list earlier, and the amount of tennis players that are coming out is just.
You agree or don't agree?
I don't really consider tennis to be a sport. I mean, I know it is.
Trev clears his throat. But we know, no, but I mean, in terms of athleticism, I mean, that's the sport where you're kind of, it's all on you.
I guess I just don't care about tennis. So this
I
is
understand.
personally, totally personal.
I
Like
just-
it's not a slight on anybody that plays tennis.
It wouldn't
I
be allowed
don't
on
care
your,
for
on your
it.
list. Man, you love these lists. I'm glad you matched my, because I was dying yesterday going through this.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Novak Djokovic, tennis at 11.
Like Dustin didn't. Just so you guys know, too. This is Dustin's hard list, right? Like he did not have one tennis player on here.
He didn't have one, hey?
No, not that I
Okay,
can see.
well, that's very telling. I think we talked about them a bit, but
We definitely talked about it.
not on his final list, which is very, I think he may also have
Weird.
a hard spot for tennis, or not a soft spot.
Well, it's just not it's not a sport that
It's not in the big four leagues.
exactly. Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, number 10. As we get into the top 10. Dusty did have a think that maybe Usain Bolt would be number 1. He comes in at number 9. Of course, track and field. Usain Bolt, you're my favorite guy. 8-time Olympic gold medalist, world record holder and everything. Sprinting is one of those things where I could easily see, too, that an athlete, a pure athlete, fastest person in the world is quite the,
Yeah.
quite the
Ever.
title. Ever. Yeah,
Ever.
for him.
That's so surprising. That's,
Good
he
point.
should be like top
Good
3.
point.
Tiger Woods at number 8. Ahead of Usain Bolt. Of course, we all know what Tiger's done. Do you consider golf a sport as well?
I would consider it much more of a sport than tennis. And I'm sorry for all the tennis.
I love it. No, you're
Twitter
hell of a
tennis
take.
is going to come at me.
Hell of a take. Simone Biles, gymnastics at 7. Roger Federer.
And this too. Like,
Gymnastics? Not a sport?
well, what are we doing?
I'll say this, though. A lack of curling as well in this top 100.
Good. Good. It should be a lack of curling. But like, okay, so okay, the
Gymnastics,
Olympic
man. 7-time Olympic
athletes,
medalist.
Sure.
Tied for most by American gymnast. 4 Olympic gold medals. Tied for most by female gymnast at single games.
Well, I think what they're really taking into consideration here is your longevity, and being at a high caliber for a long period of time.
Well,
That's
plus-
the only way you could say like Simone Biles. I mean, it's not even a paid sport. Like if you're looking at,
Yeah.
I mean, athletes don't have to be paid. I get that, but I don't know. I just have a different perception of this than.
I also wonder too, like it is the 21st century. So how long have you been in the like if your career like didn't Michael Jordan play for the no 98 here? What is it here? Yeah. So Jordan played for Washington. in the 21st century. You could have him on the list.
But you can't. Because that's
his
not what
body
he
of
excelled,
work, right? Like what he-
Yeah, I know. Like, there's so many questions.
Roger Federer at 6. Top 5. Tom Brady. And I love how they're using him in a pic of a Buccaneers uniform as well. The trolling continues.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't need to go over his accomplishments, but Tom Brady at 5. Biggest sport in the world, money-wise, commercial, everything. 7-time Super Bowl champion. He's number 5. Number 4, brace yourself, LeBron James.
That's good.
He's not 1. Top 5, though. Better than Brady, according to the list. And now, boys, Lionel Messi from soccer. Hey, figure that one out.
Yeah. Yay.
We go back to tennis for 2. Serena Williams.
I just know nothing about most of these sports, so.
And number 1, we go in the pool. Swimming. Michael Phelps.
Oh, yeah, he was on Dustin's list.
What was the sound I made? Just goes to show you can make number 1 on a list of top 100s. Michael Phelps is look. I don't care. I'm glad this is over. It's released. Boom, bam. We'll combine the lists of Iwanics and Dusties and see who got closer. Did you chalk off a lot? Is there anything missing? What's his kind of ratio here? We're looking.
Yeah, he nailed the hits.
Yeah.
He got the. Oh yeah, he got Biles too. Yeah,
Okay. You're gonna have to really hold the Garnett thing over his head, though. That's gonna be something you're gonna have to.
He did really good. He did really good. He not like much better than I certainly would have done.
Yeah.
He missed on Garnett,
Yep.
Rousey, Aaron Donald, Ledecky, Nadal, and Djokovic.
Somebody mentioned Ledecky yesterday, I think, during the morning show or the hangout, but that was a good shout as well. Donald, I don't think anybody had that on the bingo card. Like,
How could you?
I just.
I mean, Michael Phelps. Okay, like you cannot deny that. Like 28-time Olympic medalist, 23-time gold medalist.
2 individual sports, 1 and 2. Your 3 and 4s are soccer and basketball, and your 5 is football. So I score that any way you want. But I'm glad it's over.
It's funny though. Like you see Michael Phelps here at the top of the list, number 1. 10 years ago, he wouldn't have been on this list
Fair enough.
because he was a doper.
And we all know dopers can't do anything.
No, they're useless to society.
So he's a Phoenix
Clearly.
Rising from Arizona here. He's kind of reinvented himself. But I do love the 21st century thing. I mentioned Michael Jordan yesterday. He should be on the list. His career.
I think that would be a cheap shot.
I know, but I wanted to get it there.
An Amish man, yes. There was Nadal and Federer. They were both in the top 25.
yeah, they're all in
Dustin
there.
just missed on his list.
On his
that
list, he had no
prepared.
tennis. But it's very telling from Dustin and his thoughts on tennis as well. But no, there it is, and we'll compare the lists and everything like that. The Douglas says, according to many on Twitter, hockey isn't even a sport. And Justin Pete's guy says Jordan's still more influential than LaCry baby. We'll leave it at that. Adam's good to go. He's locked in, and we really appreciate the time of our first guest of the show today, Lieutenant Eric Jason Milne, in for Dustin Nielsen this morning, as we are joined by a Canadian golf writer and Sportsnet reporter Adam Stanley. He's on the beat covering the Open Championship, and once again, we appreciate his time as the action is going through the opening round. Adam, welcome back to the show. I'm just going to get right into this thing here. You had a piece up at Sportsnet as well discussing Corey Connors, the top-ranked Canadian male golfer. But if you could, through his opening round, touch on him and where are the Canadians and fair expectations for the group at Royal Troon this time around?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, obviously, we as a Canadian kind of golfing collective have never had this big of a quantity of guys performing at such a high level, where when it comes to major championships, it's kind of the logical next step that one of these guys, one of this generation of the half dozen of them, should do it. They've kind of proven everything else to this point with respect to wins and kind of being in the top 50 in the world and et cetera. And Corey, just the way that he's been playing over the last couple months and what he's been able to do this summer just with his ball striking and kind of how he's been playing tee to green and just the results that he's notched over the last few weeks specifically. Top 10 at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, that ended up earning him a spot at the Olympics. Takes a couple weeks off, goes across the pond, has another top 10 finish at the Scottish Open last week. And then, kind of gets to that top ranked spot in the World Golf Ranking, in the FedEx Cup for the Canadians, and then it's the top rank for the President's Cup from a Canadian perspective as well. So, Corey's just kind of doing everything right. He hasn't missed a cut all season long on the PGA Tour. The thing that's kind of held him back before, the putting, has really turned a corner with that as well. So, again, it's way easier said than done for anybody to contend at a major championship and kind of put themselves in the mix, especially if they haven't done it. But, if you look at the body of work for Corey Conners up to this point this season, if you look at what he's doing right and how he's doing it, it kind of just makes complete sense that, from a long shot perspective or from the perspective of, hey, who's a guy that could make some noise this week? It's Corey Conners, and that's going to be pretty exciting. Obviously, it's still just Thursday, but from everything that he's done to this point in the season, and certainly the last couple of weeks, I think there's a lot of momentum behind Corey right now.
So let's keep it Canadian then, and let's talk about there's 4 Canadians that are in the field here. Obviously, you made it pretty clear you have a strong sense that Corey Conners might be the great Canadian hope here, but you've got Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, and Mackenzie Hughes as well. They're all playing here in the Open. How do you see this faring out, compared to their games and how they play? Because obviously it's a different style of golf that you have to come in and play at the Open. So how do you see these 4 Canadians faring out?
Yeah, it's, Adam Hadwin and Nick Taylor have already finished their rounds, I believe, both pretty well over par, which was too bad. Unfortunately, from kind of a Nick Taylor perspective, he hasn't made a cut in a major in almost 2 years. So, that part has been a big question mark just for me as an observer, of the game and an analyst of the game, because, Nick, he went toe to toe with Scotty Scheffler at the Phoenix last year. That obviously kicked off the balance of his year to win at the RBC Canadian Open. Then again, he goes out and wins this season on the PGA Tour in Phoenix. And, you're just really scratching your head thinking, how is this guy not only not being in contention at major championships, he hasn't even found a weekend, in, like I said, in 2 years, and is very firmly behind the 8 ball after an over par start again here at Troon. That's kind of my biggest question mark from the Canadians is really what's gotten into Nick Taylor at major championships. Adam Hadwin did not think that he was going to be playing, this poorly at a major. I think his game was really kind of built for a golf course like this. And, Mackenzie Hughes, he's yet to tee off. But, out of all these guys, he's the one that's had the best result at the Open Championship out of any Canadian over the last couple of years. He finished tied for 6th in 2021, which was actually his very first Open Championship. So, again, if Mac can kind of do his thing, he's got one of the best short games on the PGA Tour. If he can just find some fairways, the rest of his game is so solid that he'd be able to shoot kind of that 1 or 2 under or even par over the next couple of days and maybe get in the conversation. But I think the biggest question has been why has Nick Taylor not played as well at majors as the rest of his kind of season-long effort has kind of shown that he can do it on basically every other week.
And just quickly, Jay, Nick Taylor 4 over through the opening round. He has done, as you mentioned there, Adam, and Adam Hadwin 5 over through 15 thus far. But Jay,
so earlier in the week, Adam, there was the Colin Montgomery comments about Tiger Woods saying, I think Tiger should retire, blah, blah, blah. Tiger then clapped back saying, well, Colin Montgomery's not exempt. I can play till I'm so ever many years old, but Colin Montgomery can't because he hasn't won. And that was his answer back. But, in reality, obviously, you're looking at a player like Tiger Woods, who was once the greatest, golfer of his era. What do you think about that? Is there some validity to what Colin Montgomery said, or is it really just none of his business?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a analysis perspective, what kind of Colin Montgomery was saying was really just a reflection of what Tiger Woods himself said after he missed the cut at the U.S. Open. Like, he firmly came on the record, Tiger Woods did, on that Friday at Pinehurst, and basically, mused out loud. He wasn't sure about how many more majors he had left in him. And I don't think that Colin Montgomery was incorrect in saying that Tiger looked miserable at Pinehurst, because, I was there, I saw it, he was dripping with sweat, nothing was going right. That's not to say that, Tiger hasn't deserved or doesn't deserve any of the go-forward opportunities that he has at majors, even signature events on the PGA Tour. Like, the tour itself and the players on the board have basically just made a category for him. If he wants to tee it up at signature events moving forward, it's like, yes, Tiger, please, you're welcome whenever you want. And I think he's firmly deserved it. Everyone who is playing on the PGA Tour at a high level right now has been inspired because of one guy, and that guy is Tiger Woods. And Tiger certainly has some validity to his point back to Colin Montgomery. Tiger, it's not up to Tiger whether he can choose to play in the British Open until he's 65. That's just the rules from the R&A. So yeah, Tiger's won a bunch of them. He can go out and he can keep competing as long as he wants. Same with the Masters. Looks like the U.S. Open is going to keep giving him exemptions until he no longer wants them, and the PGA is pretty much the same. So, I can kind of see both sides of it. Montgomery has kind of long been known to be a bit of his own worst enemy, saying kind of the wrong thing at the wrong time. I don't think it was appropriately timed, but I don't think that it was entirely incorrect either, just based on how Tiger played on Friday and Thursday at the U.S. Open, and kind of what he himself said after that week finished, and that week finished early.
So we see, currently Justin Thomas is sitting in the lead. He is 3 under through his first round. Give me 3 names of let's say one European player, one PGA player, and one LIV player that you think might rise out of this here to take this championship down.
All right, so it's feeling very Brooks Koepka-y right now. Like, I feel like Brooks is going to go out and shoot going to grind out a 1 under par this afternoon in this weather, and then shoot 4 under tomorrow morning and be leading by 1 heading into the weekend. So from the LIV guys, I think Brooks is probably the guy that's just going to go and grind it out this afternoon and put up a low 1 tomorrow. So Brooks is probably my LIV pick. From a European perspective, is a bit of he's already in the lead, but I had mentioned it yesterday to a couple guys. I thought Nicolai Højgaard had a great chance to kind of take the next step. Obviously he was on the Ryder Cup. He's won a bunch of the DP World Tour. He was kind of the guy, the European guy that I was looking at this week to make some noise. He's already done just that, shoot the 2 under par early. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of hold on as well over the next couple days. From a PGA Tour perspective, I think that there's a bunch of guys. The Justin Thomas 3 under par round today, I was a little bit surprised at. He really stumbled into the house over the last 3 rounds at the Scottish Open last week, despite kind of getting off to a really good start. Again, just to kind of pick the guy, I think if I had to choose between Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele, to be honest, I think I would kind of lean Xander Schauffele's way. Hasn't finished outside of a top 10 at a major in probably 2.5 years. Obviously won the PGA Championship, got that monkey off of his back. And I think just his body of work, not only this season, but at the majors, certainly this year, but also over the last, like I said, 2 or 3, has just been incredibly steady. Weather conditions be darned. I think Xander is going to be my guy. Brooks is my guy. And then Nicolai Højgaard is my third. So those would be the 3 to take a look at over the next couple of days.
Adam Stanley with us on the Nielsen Show, Canadian golf writer, Sportsnet reporter. You can find him on Twitter at Adam_Stanley. Just a couple more for you, Adam, and we appreciate your time once again as the action is continuously going on. I want to get your thoughts on the Royal Troon. It's the first Open Championship there since 2016. Any course changes? I know I've been reading up on the longest hole in Open Championship.
Yeah.
That'll be the 6th. It's been extended by 22 yards, but anything else for the casual viewer out there to expect as opposed to 2016 when this tournament was held there last?
Not specifically, but I think the one big thing that I would suggest to people, taking a look at the coverage, is that this is a golf course that's very much out and then back. And it's very much, try to make some birdies on the front nine and then hold on for dear life on the back nine. That's kind of the thing that, if someone's going to flick it on and be like, oh man, I thought he was in the lead. And then by the time they get to the back nine, they're going to be, falling way down. That's going to be a very typical thing that happens this week. A lot of birdies on the front, try to do your thing on the front nine, and then, like I said, hold on for dear life on the back. So, if someone's flicking it on real early in the morning, and then maybe they go to the office and it's lunchtime, they're checking it out again, they might see some scores that are really kind of on both ends of the spectrum. You had raised the point about the longest hole in Open Championship golf. Also, the shortest, that par 3, that posted stamp par 3 eighth hole. It's going to play between 99 yards and I think about 120. And it's, Tiger Woods summed it up best. He said, on green good, off green bad. And that was pretty much the end of it. So Rory as well. Rory made a double bogey on that hole. He was probably a yard or two away from being just perfect. Ends up in one of those bunkers and is flinging it around and makes a total mess out of that. Also made a total mess out of 11 before we got on this call. Blew his drive way right, lost it OB and had to tee it up again and made another double. So, I would say watch out for the postage stamp, watch out for that extremely long par 5, and then watch out for the changes, the scoring change from the front nine to the back nine.
Well, and we'll wrap it up here with Rory, and I'm glad you mentioned him. Through 11 thus far, just on my updated list here, 5 over. Of course, we all know what happened U.S. Open. Expectations for Rory, and again, as you mentioned, looking at the scores and reading into them too much here, back 9, 5 over, okay, but weekend's not necessarily over for him, but your expectations for Rory, and can we expect a bit of a bounce back here?
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised. Again, it's not like he's playing extremely poorly. Like overall, he's had obviously the two bad holes at the Open Championship. Doing that though will fling you down the leaderboard, which was both of those kind of came at bad times. I think he was holding on real nice on that front nine, was under par, and then second to last hole of the front nine makes a double. Then he's trying to charge, trying to claw his way back on the back nine, makes another double early on the back nine. So those two double bogeys not only tough on the scorecard, but also tough time wise on the day. My expectation for Rory was that he kind of got all the bad juju out of the way. Took the time off, did the holiday in New York City, blended in, became just one of the millions in Manhattan. Came over to the Scottish, got adjusted pretty fast, finished tied for 4th there at the Scottish, and then come into the Open again with everything kind of clicking and things going right. So, like I mentioned, he's not playing poorly. He's just had 2 bad holes. Again, he's got to. I would say he's got to go under par tomorrow in order to make the cut. I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility, obviously, just like I said, given the fact that he's still playing pretty well. He just kind of had 2 ill-timed shots. So, one, I am surprised that his score is what it is, but 2, I don't think that he's playing so bad that he can't, try to chip away at that and head into the weekend as well.
Well said. Well, sounds like you got a bit of a watch party there, Adam. We appreciate your time this morning as well, man. And where can people find you again? At Adam Stanley, at Adam_Stanley, but doing some work for Sportsnet. Any other pieces or things people can find online from you?
Yeah, we're gonna have coverage all week for the next couple of days over at Sportsnet, and then next week, real quick, next week is the CPKC Women's Open, the Canadian Women's Open out in Calgary. I'll be there all week long, starting on Monday afternoon. So looking forward to getting back out there, seeing if Brooke Henderson can try to have another win there before they have their last major of the year, and then obviously the Olympics as well coming up in just a few short weeks. So Adam_Stanley on Twitter, and then all my stuff this week, next week in Calgary, over on Sportsnet on TV and online as well.
He does not rest, people. Thanks for your time this morning, Adam, and enjoy the rest of the action from Royal Troon.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. Adam Stanley, Sportsnet reporter, Canadian golf writer. He's got his fingers on all of the golf, male, female, whatever you want, and Olympics as well, as that's coming up. I know your thoughts on lists. Give me your thoughts on the Olympics.
I love the Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah, I love watching them.
Yeah.
The list is kind of, we go back to this 100 top athletes or whatever, and I just think it's it's just so hard to compare things. Like I've been getting blasted for saying tennis is not a sport, and it's like obviously
I just find it funny that you said all that, and then you're like, oh, I love the Olympics. Like gymnastics is my favorite.
No, I love watching the Olympics.
No,
right?
yeah, but
I just don't know how you can compare an Olympic athlete to
guy that
NBA
plays,
athlete
or a guy that plays 160 some games in MLB or whatever.
Yeah,
you
it's
wanna,
just it's different. I get you got to wait 4 years to get your crack and all that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think tennis is a sport. I just don't know how you can compare it to, like it's just hard. It's a really
impossible.
funny thing. It's a really funny list. How can you compare soccer to baseball or soccer?
they're both boring.
I mean, there was really like how many baseball players were on that top, in the top 20?
Not
none,
too many.
right?
Hey, like in the top 25. You're right. Actually, that's a good eye there.
So okay. So baseball's not a real sport.
Baseball's
I guess?
not a real sport.
Baseball's not a sport.
That's what the
There you
list
go.
is telling us.
That's what this is telling us. This is telling me one thing: that tennis is a sport.
Oh, Pujols, 24.
It is absolutely a sport, and so is football. That's it. That's what I learned. Tennis is a sport. Oh, the things you learn.
Hey, you got to come on here. You got to have a take, and if you get roasted for it, that's a good thing. I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just I guess I said it, but it was not really what I meant. It was just comparing it in this fashion is, I think, stupid. And it's like you said, Eric. They could have taken this and put them all in a hat,
put it in a tumbler.
And then okay, these guys are top 50, these guys are bottom 50, and then we'll sort through
and here you go,
figure it out. So it's really a lose-lose to list at this point. But yeah, the thing that I like about Olympics is you get sports on at weird times of the day, live sport.
Yeah.
So given that it's in Paris, we're going to be waking up in the morning and there's going to be midday
Deadlifting.
action, stuff going on in the middle of the afternoon, like kayaking or, jujitsu or judo or whatever going on.
Wrestling.
In the morning. Yeah.
Real wrestling.
Real wrestling.
Did you see the mayor of Paris? She was dipping in the river yesterday to let it be known that it's okay to swim.
Yeah. That is
a week out of the games, right?
That is such a debacle. Did you hear the story on this? Like I got a little bit more of
The protest?
The protest?
Do you have beef
test?
Where everybody essentially threw their
The poo test.
their feces in the water.
I was going to tell LT this after he brought it up yesterday, but I forgot. But yes.
Like how so they're the Parisians, I guess.
Sure,
That's what you'd say
Paris,
are
Paris.
very upset about the Rhine River being used, or is it the Seine? Seine, sorry. The Seine River being used for, I believe it's being used for a lot of, I think they're triathlon and maybe some of the boating events like the kayaking and canoeing and all that stuff. So apparently in Paris, there's a way, all their dump goes into this river, everything from toilets and, much of like major cities.
That's what they
Edmonton.
do, yeah.
But they were I guess the municipality was saying no, we're going to have this river cleaned out for the Olympics. It's going to be clean as a whistle. You'll be able to swim in it. You won't have
See through it.
Yeah. So they did this big photo op where the mayor and there was some other people there and political figures. They were supposed to go for a swim in it, but Trev, they didn't actually go for a swim in it, did they?
I don't think so.
I think they just stood in it, without putting their faces in it or anything like that.
Yeah.
So my friend is there
Yeah.
at the Olympics with his wife, who's a producer, and he texted me a picture the other day of the dirty Seine River. Seine.
Scene sign.
Yeah. So it that's it in real time. Just, looks pretty.
Looks like a river.
Looks like the North Saskatchewan
Looks
to me.
like a river that I mean, yeah. I know Dusty was doing the concrete shoes bit for a while, but maybe there's a lot of things you can hide in a river system. Just saying,
There is. Yes, there is.
She didn't go to the bottom; she was just swimming on the top. But Somebody goes to the bottom. Smith TM14 is looking forward to skateboarding. Look, I'm with you. I'm not really. I'm not a gymnast enthusiast or a lot of these things. But you're right. Having it on 24/7. What are we watching today? Good enough for me. 7:03, we'll hit a sports update here for Green Plan from Jason Milne. Be back. Mike Tanier will join us just after the sports update, talking NFL rookie camps underway. Of course, never too early to start planning fantasy drafts and fantasy season. So Mike Tanier will have more on that, as well as rookie camp and a few trade win speculations as well from around the National Football League. It's the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, and YouTube Trev here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Major season comes to an end this weekend as the world's top golfers descend upon Scotland's Royal Troon Golf Course. The field includes players from the LIV Tour as well as the PGA Tour. Notable tee times this morning are Scotty Scheffler at 8:10, Tiger Woods and Xander Schauffele both tee off in 1/2 of an hour, and Canada's Corey Connors is already on the course, and he is even through 5 holes. The West Coast League All-Star Game went last night from Bellingham, Washington, where Team North faced off against Team South. Team North came out on top in dramatic walk-off fashion with a 3-2 victory. In other WCL news, 54 West Coast League alumni were selected in the 2024 draft. Nice. In the Western Canadian Baseball League, the Edmonton Prospects kick off a 2-game set against Brooks. First pitch tonight is at 7:05 from Field 9, is it? At Centennial Park and Sherwood Park. In last night's WNBA action, Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Fever fall to the Dallas Wings 101-93. And on the other game, Minnesota defeated Atlanta 86-79. Your 11-7 Stingers travel to Saskatoon tonight as they face off against the 6-10 Saskatchewan Rattlers. Reminder, you can catch that game right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or the TuneIn or iHeart Radio apps. Tip-off is at 7:30. This sports update has been brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
The Nielson Show with Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Dip with my pride, with my wanna get, boy. I don't even wanna battle y'all, no remorse. I switch this game up on y'all, not a matter of choice. My only option for getting rid of haters, standing around watching, the emulators. Stunner, afterburner, like 2 chains. Number one, my doors go up, your eyes froze up. When them dimes step out, your mouth close up. In a city like mine, it ain't hard to find a king, cause my name is written on everything that you've ever seen. Suckers wanna battle and they stay toe up. I don't have to try hard cause they broke from the flow up. This your disgrace. Look at your face. Stay out my lane, stay in your place.
7:06, you are listening to The Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and live video form, the nice wide shot Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen Studio on YouTube.com. If you are watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, it's simple, and it keeps you up to date on anything and everything regarding Edmonton Sports Talk. And hit the thumbs up as well. Hit that like, and we'll see if we can change 100 here by the time we are finished up with our second guest of the show this morning, and that'll be Mike Tanier. It is the Nielsen Show, brought to you by South Fort Chev. Check them out today as well, www.southfortchev, your dealer in Fort Saskatchewan, presenting the Nielsen Show. Your say as well, 780-218-9999 in the Paris Jewelers inbox. I know a lot of people, Rip City Step coming in with that Paris take. Defecating in a river in Paris, that's insane. Yeah, with the name of the river. So maybe Rip City Step coming hard after the $20 to A&W this morning. But we welcome back Mike Tanier, NFL writer, editor, and founder of Two Deep Zone. You can find him on X, Twitter at Mike Tanier, or check out miketanier.substack.com. Mike, good to have you back, man. We'll just, how's the offseason been? I know NFL people who cover that league, we can all joke and, there's no offseason, the league never sleeps, but you must have had a few days off or a weekend at least.
I had a couple days off. I had the 4th of July weekend and around that, Father's Day off. Who did what in the river in Paris now?
Well, we've been talking. The mayor of Paris yesterday had to take a little bit of an example swim just to prove to everybody that in a week's time, Olympic swimmers can swim in the river. And yes, it is safe. And yes, you won't get sick or anything like that. So she was in there yesterday. The Seine River. So yeah, you must be getting pretty excited about the Olympics there. Hey, Mike, on that note?
I'm not excited at all about the Olympics. It's just that I thought you said something about pooping in the river. And, my son's a lifeguard, and about once a week he has to clean something, not a Baby Ruth bar, but something like it out of the pool. Not the baby pool either. So I hope that the swimmers don't have to deal with that sort of thing come the Olympics.
They don't pay them enough, Mike. I'll just leave it at that. But let's get into the offseason here because, as I mentioned, it never really does sleep in a sense. And I wanted to get your thoughts, namely on two individuals, Davante Adams and Brandon Ayuk, and a few speculation wins, whatever descriptor you want to use. But the Ayuk requesting a trade from the 49ers. Adams' agent has been said that the speculation is, quote, baseless. Where does this all end up with these two, and what time is it with them?
Okay, in Ayuk's case, he obviously did request a trade. I feel like if the 49ers wanted to trade him, they would have done it around the draft or after the draft or sometime in there. What they want to do with Ayuk is play hardball. What Ayuk would really like is a contract extension. Now, the 49ers are cap-strapped for next year and the year after that. They can't really do an extension to him. They might have to do Purdy in a year. And in the meantime, they're asking guys like Kyle Juszczyk to take pay cuts just to kind of keep everybody in. So what's going to happen with Ayuk is he's going to, at some point, after a holdout, after getting a bunch of fines, probably agree to terms on a very slightly modified contract, come into camp, play for one more year, and then hit free agency next year and probably cash in. That's how that's going to resolve. The Adams thing is weird because Adams kind of goes out of his way to say, I'm happy where I am right now. They're paying him a ton of money in Las Vegas. He's like their only star. He gets all their receptions, etc. The agent's saying that there's nothing there. And you got the Jets media, you got the New York media saying, he wants to play with Rodgers. He wants to play with Rodgers. I think that really is the sound of one hand clapping. Maybe the trade deadline. The Raiders might say, the heck with it. We can get a first-round pick for this guy. But for now, Adams is going to cash his paychecks, catch 10 passes a week, and make the best of it.
Mike, I know you're very very heavily involved with the fantasy football drafts. I see that Aaron Schatz's FTN football almanac came out, and you're all over that. And I'm going to go full fantasy geek on you here because why not? Why not? But we look at what happened in the draft. Caleb Williams was taken first overall. Jaden Daniels second to my Washington Commanders. Drake May third. There was Michael Penix Jr., J.D. McCarthy, Bo Nix. This was a big quarterback draft. In fact, 6 QBs that matched that class of 1983. That produced the likes of Elway, Jim Kelly, Dan Marino. As you see it, I just keep in mind, I am a Jaden Daniels guy, but just be nice, be nice. But how do you see these shaking out? Do we have the next Dan Marino and Jim Kelly in this draft?
When you tee it up like that, it's like, gosh, I'm not going to put 3 Hall of Famers on these guys. I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan. They've got a couple of weapons there in Washington. They've also got guys like Zach Ertz, who I believe is 63 years old, and they don't have a left tackle. They don't have a left tackle there. So for in the short term, I think Daniels is going to run a lot. He's going to get a lot of rushing yards, rushing stats. If you're a fantasy guy, you're going to like that. But I think he's going to struggle a bit. I love Caleb Williams' receiving core. I think that they've done a good job making sure he's got everything he can to succeed as a rookie there in Chicago. And I think he's a very solid prospect. I don't look at any of these guys and say, "Oh, this is the bust. This was the joke." This is the guy that no one should have gone after. You sometimes see that that Mitch Trubisky type of guy, not to single somebody out. Like, what are they really seeing in this? What are they thinking? All of these guys have their merits. I don't know what we're going to see as rookies that's going to be that exciting for him. The Patriots, Drake May, Patriots don't have a lot in terms of weapons for him. McCarthy might not start the season there. Sam Darnold is right now penciled in as their starter. Obviously, Kirk Cousins ahead of Penix right now. It's going to take a couple of years to really see what's there. I think in the short term, then we'll see a couple of guys be very exciting, if not very effective early on.
Well, let's keep it with the quarterbacks then, and let's open it up to the rest of the league. As far as fantasy quarterbacks to avoid in 2024, and maybe a couple that you'd like to look out and seek. I don't know what is so funny about this question, Mike. I'm very serious about fantasy. Gosh darn it! I know, but honestly, I know it's hard to say right now. But like, if you could, a couple that you feel like you might have a bust, and now this is league wide, as opposed to some that you think might have a bounce back year or have something, that is a little bit more exciting and enticing than maybe they showed last year.
Yeah, I'm laughing because when you say avoid, it's kind of like, it's going to be like the familiar names in general. It's like avoid Daniel Jones, because I think most people agree he's injured and not that good a quarterback. Yeah, I would say avoid Drake May, even if you're a big Drake May fan. They don't have anybody to throw to out there. I guess the big one I say, watch out for the Kool-Aid, is Justin Herbert of the Chargers. I think we all know Herbert. Is extremely talented. Has had some good years in the past. He has no wide receivers. He has no wide receivers whatsoever. Keenan Allen's gone. Mike Williams is gone. They haven't really replaced them. And Jim Harbaugh, the new coach there, is talking about running the ball. And we know he loves running the ball because we saw him coach the Niners years ago, and we saw him coach Michigan, and he loves running the ball. And that's not going to be good for a fantasy standpoint for somebody like Herbert. And, as for guys to look at, I mean, that's where I would say, hey, Jaden Daniels is a guaranteed starter. He's probably going to be running for 1 million yards. That's going to help you there. That's somebody that you could possibly pursue there. And, when it's fantasy, don't get caught up in the stuff about, Tua would be nothing without Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle, or Purdy would be nothing without Debo and Ayuk and something. They're probably not going to be without those guys. They're going to be fine. They're going to put the statistics up. So these guys are like second-tier quarterbacks or quarterbacks with questions. That shouldn't bother you in fantasy. That bothers you if you're talking about win-loss records or future contracts and stuff like that. So make sure you're focused on the fantasy side of things.
Mike Tanier joining us this morning, NFL writer, editor, and founder of Two Deep Zone. You can find him on X, Twitter at Mike Tanier, or Substack, MikeTanier.substack.com. I want to get your thoughts, Mike, and you mentioned, we were talking about the rookie quarterbacks drafted, rookie camps now, on the eve of training camps, cracking open, we're so close. What are you right now kind of focusing, lasering in on in terms of storylines around the league? Is there a handful of camps that you're really going to be focusing on more so in terms of storylines and just a general kind of interest, I guess we shall say, with a handful of teams?
Well, we started with, I wanted to see what was going to happen with Ayuk, and now we have a resolution there, sort of. Not a resolution, but we know what the conflict is.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Bengals, and it looks like T. Higgins is going to go in on the final year of his contract and play and just deal with it. So that answers a question there. And then I turned to Dallas, CeeDee Lamb, another one of these receivers like Higgins, like Ayuk, who's like, I want a new contract. And Jerry Jones is like, I don't give new contracts anymore. I'm done with that. I'm just going to, fly by my seat of the pants every year. I want to see who reports to camp for the Dallas Cowboys. If Lamb shows up, if he holds out, what the conversation around Dak Prescott will be. He wanted a new contract. What the conversation around Micah Parsons would be. He wanted a new contract. This is a team that should be neck and neck with the 49ers for the NFC Championship. If they come in discombobulated and talking about money and not focused on the field, they're a team that I think are going to do what we often think the Cowboys do, which is, they'll go beat the bad teams, and then they're going to make fools out of themselves when the pressure's really on them.
I should have admitted them for the question, because that's usually what they are, and I'm kind of betting on the latter there, what you said with the Cowboys, is that's usually what it is. But let's flip that a bit in terms of, like, I don't know what you want to call them, up-and-coming, sexy teams. Packers and Texans, Mike. Who do you kind of like taking a leap between these two teams, and which leap will be the largest this season?
I love the Texans taking the leap. I love both quarterbacks. I think C.J. Stroud looks like further along than Love does right now, and he's a younger guy. I like what they did in the offseason. Stephon Diggs is a headache, but you got him for 1 year. He'll be playing for his next contract. That probably means he'll keep his mouth more or less shut and do what he's supposed to do, because he always wants the next payday. for him. They brought in some other guys along the way there. And their division is not particularly tough. When you talk about the Texans, having to get past the Jaguars, who are scuffling a little bit, the Colts are always rebuilding. That's an easy way to go. The Packers, I love their young receiving core. I love some of the things there. I think they've got a tougher schedule overall. I don't think they're as far along on defense. I think they're a playoff team, but I think you could be talking about the Texans being like a 12-win team and somebody who's going to be up there competing with the Chiefs.
From taking a jump to looking to solidify what they've done, Chiefs, first team to win 3 straight?
Let's not do that. I'll tell you what, I've got the Almanac projections right now, and it's stunning because the Chiefs are below the Ravens in their projection to reach the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And they're only a little bit ahead of the Texans. So you've got that to go through. The 49ers projection to reach the Super Bowl is 32%. A 32% chance to win the Super Bowl on July, the 18th. That is stunning how far the 49ers are ahead of everything. So I love that. Obviously, Chiefs are going to win their division. Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs. It's a long road. We all look at the receiving core. We all look at the Rashee Rice situation and say, we don't know how many games he's going to actually be out there. You look at the strength of the Bills and these other teams. It's a long road to take them back to something no one has done before, which is a three-peat.
One of the main reasons I want you on this morning, Mike, aside from your voice and general demeanor, is this football almanac you mentioned, the FTN Football Almanac 2024. Yourself, Aaron Schatz, a few others combining for it. Let our listeners know, in terms of fantasy, where they can find this, where they can pick it up, how they can digest it, and anything different in terms of, I know it's a fresh season and all that, but anything different for regular readers of the almanac that they can expect in this year's edition?
It is the same almanac that you remember as Football Outsiders Almanac until there were some business issues there. So it's been 20 years. Not much has changed. It's the same format. It's the same information, the same DVOA projections, the same fantasy projections, useful for wagerers, useful for fantasy managers, useful for fans who just want to, get caught up on things and don't want to read something really generic, want some more in-depth stuff, want some comedy. You can find it at FTN Fantasy. You can find it on Amazon. If you go to FTN Fantasy, you can become a subscriber and get a lot of discounts, and you can get week by week fantasy information, statistics, in-depth stats, etc., as well as the Almanac, all for one price.
Lots of people talking about the Almanac, Mike, and people can find it, Mike Tanier, up on Twitter, MikeTanier.substack.com, all those great places. Want to touch on one last thing you had, and you were talking about Falcons quarterbacks as well. Matty Ice, Ron Mexico, Peachtree Bart, I don't know, Chandler as well. This must have been a fun summer project for you, hey, Falcons quarterbacks?
Well, I've done every team's top 5 quarterbacks. So I'm getting towards the home stretch. There's 25 teams on MikeTanier.substack.com, the 2 Deep Zone Substack. So the Falcons were a fun one, but man, there's wild ones. My favorite part of it is finding out which 1970s quarterback was dating what sexy woman from the 1970s. I had no idea that Steve Bartkowski was out there, dating golfing beauties, and I had no idea that Dan Pastorini dated Farrah Fawcett Majors. I think when she was Farrah Fawcett Majors, which is a little bit of a scandal, but there's all kinds of statistics. There was a Vikings love boat. Every weird old scandal you can think of. Jeff George screaming at Judy Jones. It's all in there. You can check it out at the 2 Deep Zone Substack.
Yeah, it's too bad social media wasn't around then. Hey, Mike, but we'll leave it at that. Appreciate your time again, man. Enjoy the rest of rookie training camp and all that, and we'll probably talk sooner than later here as the days tick on and the season gets nearer. Thanks, Mike.
You got to take care and enjoy the start of camp.
Oh, I love it. Mike Tanier, there he is. You know him well. Been riding with us for a while, and we appreciate the work he does. Very intelligent guy when it comes to the National Football League, and never really takes a day off. At Mike Tanier on Twitter, MikeTanier, or MikeTanier.substack.com. Writer, editor, founder, 2 Deep Zone, formerly Football Outsiders. He has a good way of writing about some of these guys, and especially when you go back into those years that he mentioned, the decades. Man, some of those stories may be better left 6 feet under type of deal, but it's good to kind of get them out, especially with Mike's unique brand of humor. So if you want more on that, check him out today in the Football Almanac as well. They're going into how many pores are on a guy's arm, like that type. That's in-depth stats.
Training camps are open. They're there. So it's NFL's back, baby.
I'll ask you the question too, now. Again, July 18th, we can kind of see this from a very wide lens. And aside from the Commanders, which is your team, what is the story for you heading into a camp? Is it these quarterbacks that you brought up with Mike? Is it again the discombobulation of the Cowboys that I think we all love, especially with you in the division?
I mean, when aren't the Cowboys discombobulated?
I love it. He mentioned it too, and they could do this, or they could go back to what they do naturally.
The Cowboys, obviously being an NFC East rival, are a fascinating petri dish, you could say, to study. Because they've got everything. They've got all the players. Just seems like they can't put it together. I don't know why, but I mean, you've got Dak Prescott is a hell of a quarterback.
Got talent.
He's very talented. CeeDee Lamb is one of the top receivers in the game. Their defense, they're going to be getting back. What's his face from? Anyways, he was their outside, one of their cornerbacks that had a knee injury last year. I mean, they're stacked. I just don't know how they keep failing.
It's the market. It's now and now the pressure's not to say the pressure. It's always pressure in Dallas and in big markets and such, but. I mean, the time is running out on a lot of these guys in terms of deals and whatnot, and it'll be interesting to see, another year. And does Jerry Jones move at the end of this year, and how much does he move, and what does he move? But that'd be interesting. I just like watching that team from afar and reveling in its failures. It's a Schadenfreude that I just can't resist.
Well, and to further answer that question, I am intrigued about how these rookie quarterbacks are going to shake out. I mean, there's 6 rookie quarterbacks that were taken in the first round. So, I mean, I'd say 4 out of those 6 are going to be stepping in as their team's starting quarterback. So that's always intriguing. I mean, unfortunately for the Commanders, I've been through this several times in the past few years, so I'm not really getting too excited about Jaden Daniels. Honestly, I would love to see a quarterback like Jaden Daniels come in and sit on the bench for a year, maybe 2. If you had a quarterback that, Sam Howell's not the guy to sit behind as the Commanders quarterback, but if you had a guy like that would be, with Kirk Cousins, like that is a great fit.
Oh, yeah.
Let him develop on the bench. And, unlike what Matt Iwanek thinks about Trey Ford developing behind MBT, you can develop a quarterback not starting.
I think it's weird though too, and
people forget that Patrick Mahomes developed under Alex Smith for a year and a half.
Look at the Green Bay Packers, how they run their quarterback room in evolution. But would you not subscribe to the fact too that the NFL time is more afforded in that league, in a sense where you can say, we have an 8-year project and this guy's going to sit for 3 or whatever, and he's fine with everybody. Whereas in the CFL, you're kind of, you got to win yesterday, and the contracts are shorter and everything's a little more condensed.
I don't know. I think the NFL is very much so a win now league because, you get these quarterbacks on these rookie deals. So if Brock Purdy last year, I think was getting paid less than 90% of the players on the team. So it's just a matter of if you can, have them succeed during those early years. Obviously, it's great. I just, the NFL, and granted, college players are getting better and more talented. You have to admit that. But the NFL is a different league.
Another team within your division there, Jay, which I'm kind of excited on, specifically the quarterback room, is the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, as Mike mentioned as well. I don't know what your I know a lot of people's thoughts in, but this quarterback grouping is interesting. Drew Lock comes over as well. You then got old Tommy DeVito and Nathan Rourke, who we all know so well. I wonder if there might be some sort of, I know I'm not necessarily reading that in a pecking order, but you would maybe determine that that's how it shakes out. Who knows? Maybe he might get his shot, have to be due to injury and some other things falling right for him. But, I want to see him. And then whatever it is, either he sticks or he comes back. I hate seeing a guy spend his whole career holding a board, sitting in a room, wearing track pants, and not playing on the field. He gets
paid pretty damn well.
I
to hold
understand,
that clipboard,
but
so.
as a fan, I want to see him.
Of course, sure.
I want to see him.
Danny Dimes, he's been good. He's not great. There's no way you could say that at this point. Obviously, injury hampered him last year. hence the rise of Tommy Calzone. I don't know what you want to call the guy, but
Tommy Sausages and Peppers.
Yeah, Tommy Sausages and Peppers. But Daniel Jones, I don't know. Like, and even if you went with Nathan Rourke and gave him a shot, there's a reason that quarterbacks don't play, right? It's just the same thing as, now I don't want to keep bringing this back to the Elks, but like there's a reason Trey Ford is not starting. There's a reason Nathan Rourke is not listed ahead of Daniel Jones on the depth chart.
Money being one of them right now, but various others that you...
Sure, but I mean, like, backup quarterbacks need to develop and work on their game, and the only way that Nathan Rourke gets in on that team is via injury.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones is the guy there. But name me one wide receiver on the New York Giants.
Well, but I'm not going to because I can't.
Yeah, they're very sparse.
But would you rather, and we'll move off of this here, but Nathan Rourke with this scenario and the quarterbacks you mentioned with the Giants, or behind a Trevor Lawrence and a CJ Beathard being like a 2AB type of thing as he had there in Jacksonville?
100%. Because Jacksonville, yeah. I think you had a better shot at growing your game and then becoming maybe a Chase Daniels, who's a career backup quarterback that gets in and comes in and actually can play at a high level, learning from one of the greatest young talents in Trevor Lawrence.
Chase Daniel was also up in Rough Rider camp one year, doing had a great career at Missouri.
Yes.
Him and Kansas were going back and forth in those days, and it was great football. I think Reesing was the quarterback for Jayhawks, but I get more Big 12, baby.
Chase Daniels had a cup of coffee with the Redskins back then.
Yeah. And that's a great, his story is one of hell of a collegiate career. Took that program where it never really was before. But you mentioned, the money that he's amassed. Just sitting in film rooms and such. We should be so lucky. 780-218-9999. Baggio texts into the Paris Jewelers inbox. LTE, I'd love to apply for the job posting for EST. I'd like to get into broadcasting. I always make those interesting comments during games. I'm sure you'll get my reference. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if I've watched a game with you. If you have a driver's license, though, you're halfway there to the application process. Look, we have it all up posted online. If you are interested, it's an afternoon type of midday thing, and then a producer role that goes along with that. So if you know anybody, or you originally I looked at that yesterday and I said they're posting for my job, and then the sweat left me, but it's all good. But if you want to, it doesn't hurt to apply. Even if you don't meet maybe one or two of those requirements, maybe some of those are looked past. So if you Cool Bet Hotline of the Day, we want to go to Royal Troon here real quickly. We'll do a sports update as well. But Cool Bet Canada Hotline of the Day. Follow Jay to the bank here.
Cool Bet, or do you want me to do a sports
cool
update?
Bet. Let's do the
Cool Bet. Okay. So I took the advice of Adam Stanley, our guest earlier in the 6 o'clock hour, and he kind of had a feeling about Brooks Koepka. Mm-hmm. So I looked into it, and Brooks Koepka, albeit I don't think he had teed off at that point, plus 4,000 to win the Open Championship.
That's a hottie number, hey?
Plus 4,000. So if you're, if you're like Matawana, can you bet 10 cents on that? That would return you $4.10. Or if you bet $10 on it, it'll bring you back $410. Yes. So, these golf events are always, gambling's a crapshoot. Let's just say that in general. But
it's a gamble.
These are the ultimate crapshoot. But, if you want to have some interest in it, and there's some other good, pretty decent odds. Colin Morikawa at 1,400. Xander Schauffele, who he also mentioned, is plus 1,200. So there is some value there.
And Brooks Koepka yet to tee off yet. That'll be a little later on in the morning. But
Brooks Koepka for the win, plus 4,000. That is my Cool Bet line of the day. Go to coolbet.com and you can find that. They do have some exclusives as well that pertain to the Open Championship. Those are always fun. Let's see what they got here. Well, they were there. I think, that's what it is. They have some, like Canada. Like you can bet on the Canadians playing in every round, and if they're going to defeat their opponent that they're golfing with. I've never really thought of that as a one-on-one competition preparing for the different tee times, but they do set it up nicely. It's really easy to follow.
I want to check out, I think, this hole 3 that Adam Stanley was talking about, the 99-yarder or whatever it was, the postage stamp. We could have used that for the old hole-in-one contest, the swing to win.
Yes,
yes. Jasmine chimes in the Paris Jewelers inbox as well. I propose another golf tournament to raise money for an AC unit for Trev. Or Glue Guy, buy him one since you're rich. Haha, JK. Didn't you write the JK, right?
Yeah. I am rich in love. I am rich in love and family. Trev, turn on your mic. Put the camera on you.
I look rough right now.
Why is that? Because you've been sleeping in a heat box?
You know what? I actually might have something coming up here.
Here's what we're going to do. We're at 100. What are we at? We're at 106 thumbs up. Eric, what do we got to get to for me to buy him a portable AC unit?
No.
Just hang on.
120. I think we can get there.
What's an attainable number? 300? 400?
300.
300 likes, and I will come in tomorrow on the Hangout with some form of a portable air conditioning unit for YTT.
No.
He said some form.
I said some form.
You could be bringing an ice cube tray.
Just bring in ice or something like that.
300.
300.
I actually might have a place, so
300
here's
likes.
hoping.
You can always use a portable air conditioning unit.
But save the money. Save the money.
Let's just. Can you stop?
What? No. Like I'm fine.
Turn the mic off again.
Yeah, smash that like
I
button.
like the coffees. I like it when you bring me a coffee. I do not need AC. It's totally fine. Like, obviously it sucks, but like whatever. It's all good.
I just hate seeing you in such duress. You know.
Oh no, that's okay. But yeah, no. It's honestly it's all good because things should be good.
I think 300 was low, by the way.
I think so too.
I think we should have pushed it up to 4. But
well, I mean,
300
sure.
was what said,
We
and
could-
boom,
we
already got the YTT bump. We're already up to 120.
That was my original number there.
Yeah.
Let's do a sports update. We'll get back with I Got Beef. I think there's a few beefs going on already, so we'll just kind of explore that as we go. And Trev, a little update on your living situation. Don't say no more. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
as
I don't
well.
want to like just
Jinx it?
something. Yeah, something.
He doesn't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx it. I really don't.
Is
but
it like
I will kind of tease.
Is it like
I
a
do.
permanent situation, or just for like the heat
Yeah,
and tonight?
permanent.
Oh, permanent. Okay.
Yeah, so here's hoping.
Wait, that exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Sports update for Park Mazda. We'll be back with I Got Beef, and that'll take us through hour number 2 on the Nielsen Show here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Major season comes to an end this weekend as the world's top golfers descend on Scotland's Royal Troon golf course. The field includes players from the Live Tour as well as the PGA. Notable tee times this morning are Scotty Scheffler at 8:10, Tiger Woods and Xander Schauffele set to tee off in about 1.5 minutes. And Canada's Corey Connors is already on the course. It is -1 through 7 holes, so not bad. The leader is only at. Let's see here. The leader is currently Justin Thomas at -3, so Corey Connors is honing in on that. The West Coast League All-Star Game went last night from Bellingham, Washington, where Team North faced off against Team South. Team North came out on top in dramatic walk-off fashion with a 3-2 victory. In the Western Canadian Baseball League, the Edmonton Prospects kick off a 2-game set against Brooks. First pitch is at 7:05 from Diamond 9 in Sherwood Park's Centennial Park. In last night's WNBA action, Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Fever fall to the Dallas Wings 101-93. And in the other game, Minnesota defeated Atlanta 86-79. Your Edmonton Stingers 11-7. Second place Edmonton Stingers travel to Saskatoon tonight as they face off against the 6-10 Saskatchewan Rattlers. We need you to make a rattler noise for next update. You can catch that game right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or tune in or iHeart Radio apps. Tip-off is at 7:30. This sports update has been brought to you by Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. When asked about the dealership, Mitch has been known to say, "I come here when I have lady troubles, which means I come here every night."
If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
She bought a car working nights at the mall. TV taught her how to drive it. She bought a car, didn't want one too small. Bought a K car, reliant. That other boy wasn't pushy at all. She'd be the first one to tell you she wanted to try it. Put the tab on the tongue, put the lights down low, put the phone in the pocket on silent. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip, goes down where I haven't seen yet. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip goes. I gotta admit that I'm falling in love with the thought of this not lasting. Baby so bad made my mood ring break. The boy in the corduroy coat got caught by the cops as he was trying to buy the girls in the back of the truck a little love in the form of a bottle of rye. And all the pretty jean jacket girls gonna cry. All the daddies get called up to drive them. All the pretty mothers gonna wait up all night except the girl with the phone on silent. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip, goes down where I haven't seen yet. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip goes.
Seamless. 7:39. The
Always
Nielson
is,
Show.
always is.
EdmontonSports.com. We spare no expense here on the show. That was Whale and the Wolf, EST house band. Erotic rock branded right here out of the YEG. Check them out today. Whale and the Wolf. All the socials and online. Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, YouTube Trev behind the monitors with you. It's going to be hot once again today, if you didn't already know. 34 for a high, and those overnight lows of around 18 to 20 degrees, really keeping things piping throughout the 24-hour clock. 34 for Friday, 33 Sunday as we take a bit of a dip, and back up to 35 for Sunday. Riverhawks as well, moving their Sunday matinee game up a couple hours into the morning. So if you were planning to head out to the park, Riverhawks back in action, back home Friday, where they kick off a 3-game set against Springfield. But if you were planning for the matinee Sunday, check out the Riverhawks. They've announced a time change to all that, so just be aware on that. I might go a little early ball, a little morning ball, finish, kind of early afternoon, that type of thing. Go home, rinse off, and enjoy the rest of your day. So there we go. I got beef right now for Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats. Eat fresh, eat local, eat Acme. Acme Meats, serving Edmonton for over 100 years. Corey and the gang down there in the Ritchie Market, 9570 76th Avenue. Great little market, and we will check that out today. Dustin's emailing or texting here. What is we doing here? Okay. Hammerness, if they want, just email. Okay. Well, this is
just
good.
Just an update here on the YTT air conditioning likes proposition. We are halfway there. We are halfway to 300 likes. If you missed it, if we get to 300 likes, I am going to personally purchase some sort of a air conditioning device, portable, so that YTT can sleep at night. Some people are saying that you should try and find some sort of maybe a lady friend to try and get into some cooler areas, maybe possibly at her house, instead of having to resort to rubbing cold beers all over your body, which we also discovered in the first hour. So if you don't want YTT to sleep in sweat anymore, hammer that thumbs up button. And speaking of Dustin, 14 years of marriage.
Yes, he had an
celebrated
anniversary yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congrats. I think a round of clicks is in order for that.
Happy anniversary, indeed. I don't have any beef with his anniversary, but I do have beef with Trevor's living situation here, and you've been gracious enough to offer your open the wallet. You did promise, though, not an AC unit, right? Like you promised like a cooling system.
I'm gonna double down on this.
Be a
right
garbage
now.
bag of ice,
No,
right? Like, no,
it will be something that we'll plug in. It will be
Electric.
an actual air conditioning portable something or other.
but not a fan.
No, it's like the ones you
Okay.
can plug into
Yeah,
a
those
wall
ones,
outlet
yeah.
and it
Perfect.
just,
Have a little ice cream bucket for the dripping or something.
yeah.
If you're buying vintage or retro, but if
Well,
you haven't,
garage sales do start on Thursdays, right?
this is why you got a feeler out there, don't you?
Maybe.
I got beef once again. If you have any beef, please text it in 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. Dustin is texting here. He says if you want to, we got the Nasty Bash coming up. I got beef that the Nasty Bash isn't this week, and we have to wait another week, I guess. But if you want into the Nasty Bash, okay, Matt, MATT at edmontonsportstalk.com. That's the email. Email Matt at edmontonsportstalk.com if you are interested in the Nasty Bash. Of course, that's next Friday down at the St. Albert Rugby Club. We will obviously be giving Nasty members. There's a process here. If you are a Nasty Club member, Matt will reach out to you. You can respond in that kind and a +1, that type of thing. But if you aren't, if you're kind of feeling like you're on the outside looking in, Matt at edmontonsportstalk.com and ask him, Matt, can I get in? How do I get in to the Nasty Bash? That is next Friday down at the St. Albert Rugby Club. Fergie's prostate in the Nasty Chat this morning. He'll be piping us in. I know he's back from vacation, looking very forward to the Nasty Bash in, just over a week's time next Friday. Once again, Matt at Edmonton Sports Talk if you want into the party of parties. And it's going to be a big one, actually. It is the EST Classic, the first inaugural memorial for Matt Iwanek, the golf. I mean, that was fun. That was a good time. If you golf, obviously you would have been into that. But I think this party, much like last year when we got canned, we didn't have anything going on. We had the party. We had the big announcement of Edmonton Sports Talk. We're coming back, baby. This will kind of have the same type of feeling and buzz about it. If you do miss out on this, you'll find out about it the next day. Correct? I mean,
from what I understand, it's going to be epic. Epic.
I did click with my thumb. Can people not click with their thumbs?
What do you mean? That's how you snap.
LT, did you click with your thumb and first finger or middle finger? Oh, I see. Both. I can do the full Monty here. Like that.
I'm a thumb middle finger guy.
Yeah, I think
that gives me the most, bang for your thwack. It's just a good one.
I do have some beef here, though, boys. And
Let's hear it.
It comes from my double. See this? And this? This is what we're dealing with. Early days. This is rookie camp of the EST draft that we're going to be doing of movie props from film. We went over some rough categories yesterday. I think this is solidified. I think it's set in stone. But just really quickly here, 10 open spots for this one. And this draft will be going down, next Tuesday, Wednesday? We had the 24th circled. We were going back for a couple of dates, but I think 24th was locked in, if I'm remembering.
Wednesday the 24th.
Wednesday the 24th, EST drafting returns here on Edmonton Sports Talk, and it will be film and movie props. Now, yeah, I kind of got beef with the categories here, much like you, Jay.
I don't have beef with the categories.
Well,
I've beef with how many damn categories there are.
Yes, and that's kind of it. Sports for 2. You'll need 2 in sports. You'll need 3 weapons. The open is the field where you can really kind of, paint your own picture here. 10 openings required in the open category. 1 for clothing, 1 for food, 1 for furniture, 1 vehicle. And Dusty texted yesterday late, 1 prosthetic, which I think
that's just uncalled for.
We got to act on that. That's where people move first, right? There's only a certain amount of prosthetic movie like that I can kind of think of in terms of pop culture and what would resonate on this program and station. But I got beef with, kind of with you, Jay. Like not on the categories, but just the amount.
We could close the open category to 5.
I'm not even done yet. Like this is just the rough.
I know, and there is a lot. There's
too much almost. And
Commissioner Quinn is in the nasty chat. Guys, it's the 25th. Yeah,
sure, whatever. I mean, I was good for any day. I just didn't know. 25th, lock it in. Thursday the 25th. EST draft, movie props.
Yeah, it is Thursday. That's right.
Perfect. Okay. No, but this is a lot. I'm not done yet, nor should you be. I think drafts should never be complete in terms of the prep. But we might have to, again, borrow time from the lock shop or end this show an hour early. Just to complete. This isn't going to be the MLB draft where we're doing like 10,000 rounds over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like they just keep, what's next? A 30 round draft? Like, what are we doing here?
Are you looking for relegation this draft just to not be involved in the 30 round draft?
I mean, if this continues,
you might have to flop here.
I mean, I just don't see how anybody's really going to be like terrible. Because there are so many. I mean, there's some stronger subcategories for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's only one vehicle. I mean, that's a deep category, but there's only one vehicle.
The Ecto one, right?
Yes, of course.
I think there's a few vehicles.
No, there's the wrench.
I think of like a few.
Yes, of course you can.
But there's one that's.
Of course you can think of vehicles, but there's the one that stands out. I honestly think we should talk, and I mean, Commissioner Quinn is obviously in the nasty chat.
Tommy's in there now too, so just be a little quiet on your picks here, mate.
No. I mean, if you can't make out 15 picks here, which I'm gonna.
There should be no going. Again, it's almost like which one do I not pick out of the?
Well, there's just so many to choose from. I mean, but the open category should be 5, not 10.
5's a nice number. 5 by 4 is 20. So that's
5,
already a
and
lot
then you've
that
got.
we'd have a lot
It would
to
be a
pick.
15-round draft because you'd have 5, 10, and then with the clothing, food, furniture, vehicle, prosthetic, you'd be at 15. Commissioner Quinn, I urge you to consider this.
If one
I don't even think Commissioner Quinn was even talked to about this.
It doesn't seem so.
It seems like Dustin just waved his magical wand and said, "Hey, we're doing open at 10." Like open should be like that's absurd.
We might have to exercise a bit of a commissioner power here, like a bit of a veto, if you will, right? Like maybe if we all gather up, myself, you, Tommy, we go to Quinn, we say, "Hey, we've got a proposal," and it's a united front.
Well, the commissioner is here to listen to the owners too. I mean, that's
the role of the commission.
That's what Iwanik's greatest falter was, is that he ruled with an iron fist and it caught up with him.
So you and me kind of are on the side for shortening it.
Yes.
Dusty's obviously. So we actually got a court Gazzola today to get him on our right to give it a 3-1 count, because then we would overrule Dustin and the commissioner would have to rule in our favor.
You would think. I mean, I just think that with 10, it really is diluting the picks. I mean, I know there's a lot, but there's a lot of okay ones. If you cut down the open category to 5. Then I feel like you're gonna have better results. Yeah. And you're obviously in agreement. So I mean, we're halfway there.
Make the open category 15, Raider Jesse says. You could. We're just saying it's not. You might be getting a lot of fat with your meal there. Hey.
What's that? Sorry, I missed that. I'm trying
open category to 15 instead of 10. The LeBaron from Freddie Got Fingered. Duck Dad says, "I believe in Tommy DeWrench elite drafting capabilities. Does Edward's hands count as prosthetics? Edward Scissorhands." Somebody else texting in, briefcase from Pulp Fiction. There are a lot of little things that people might forget in terms of these movie props that might kind of springboard you to a victory quietly that people may have not have found. But, I mean, this is the season now. We're less than a week out of the draft, and it is nice to kind of lay down some hints, some breadcrumbs to take people in a different direction. As mentioned, Ecto 1 is the vehicle.
Clearly,
it is the vehicle to take, hands down.
Commissioner Quinn is in. She's in the text line. She is texting the draft group.
Why was it not in the draft chat? Dustin says, "What do you mean? This is a stunning revelation, Dustin.
Stir it up."
This is. Well, we can wash our hands clean of it though. Like we didn't.
What did we do?
We didn't do anything. We're just asking the questions, right? That's what they say.
We're just here to present honest opinions.
Got to have someone fall below 10%. Need Maddie to fill someone's shoes. That comes in from Colin the Amishman. Is this a draft? Jay, off the record here, if you were to kind of throw one, given your obviously disdain with the amount and everything like that. Would this be something where you kind of say, "Hey, I could see myself," and you throw it and you take a bit of a break, you come back refreshed sometime. Maddie's not gonna say you get below 10%, we get Maddie into the drafts. He's not going to be lasting long. He'll do a draft. He'll be back out, so you'll have time to kind of go off, reform, regroup, come back. Is that something you at all think of in this, or you just regardless of the rules?
I mean, you're here to win.
You're here to win.
You're here to win. I mean, Tommy's on a heater right now, 2 wins in a row.
Who would have thunk, hey?
You're here to win. So if that's not your makeup, if that's not the way you're coming into it, then I don't know what you're doing.
And this continues. We continue to unravel this here. Dustin says, "I don't even know what you were talking about." Quinn says, "Usually there's discussion on the categories. Now I'm watching the show, and there's discussion on the categories." So, a little cat out of the bag here, I guess, for Quinn. Sorry, Quinn, I didn't. Were we not supposed to discuss this today? I thought we were kind of hammer on the draft and kind of get people's ideas loosely, but oops.
I mean, yeah. If somebody falls below 10% in this draft, that's a feat.
Oh, here we go. Dustin's back in here. Where is he here? Got to discuss the categories before locking them in. Nothing official yet. So the draft is Wednesday. I think Dustin's back Tuesday.
Okay.
So we'll wait until.
Well, but it would also be nice to know the draft.
It sure would. Yeah. So this could all be for naught. Well, I'm. Yeah, Kit Knight Rider. That's a good one. Yeah, no, we got it all down. Shh, not too loud here. Yeah, Krager, I see you as well. Look, we put in the work yesterday. The scouting staff, they're all due for a raise on my part. I'm feeling pretty good heading into this one. Categories, regardless, I don't care. Make them all open. Just on the initial. I know you haven't done too much prep yet, Jay, but are you feeling good about the draft or not?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling really good.
This is a genre that you can really kind of...
I've got the glue crew working on it. They are working behind the scenes. They just need to know which categories to focus on. VR Montenegro in the Nasty Chat, and you're right. He said, I would hand in my glue crew membership if my man took a dive. Not here to take a dive.
Yeah, this isn't Copa America. Come on here.
Yeah. Brutal.
There are 2 text threads going now, the draft chat and another one that Quinn doesn't seem to know which one she's in. The conversations are bouncing between the 2. I'm going to put my phone down now if I can, and that'll be enough of that. Once again, EST draft, film movie props, and I said Wednesday. It's been corrected to Thursday, as Quinn mentioned. Dustin will be back Tuesday on the show. Categories, undetermined. Film movie props. Get in your suggestions right now, 780-218-9999. Let's farm a little bit. Batmobile from Library Pat. Yeah, but which one? Do you take one and they're all off the board? Hey?
I don't know. I mean,
Shouldn't be. They're all a little different, right?
Well, we had the Christmas character draft, and the Grinch was accepted in different forms, so I would care to believe that the Batmobile in its many special forms is considered.
Filthy says, all the drugs from Fear and Loathing. That's in the Nasty Chat. Tommy will pick the meatloaf from A Christmas Story first overall. I bet. Once that wheel's spun, that'll be, do you care about having first overall pick in this? You shouldn't, eh?
No.
It's so damn deep.
No.
There might be a consensus one out there that a few people have mentioned.
A number one?
Leave it at that. Yeah.
A number one? Yeah, I know what it is.
There's a lot of mock lists.
Yeah, I know what it is. It's a weapon.
Ecto 1.
Yeah,
the
Ecto
car.
1,
yeah, it's and that little case that they keep the ghosts.
I mean, there is a couple strong contenders.
Don't show the hand. 7:56. Let's take some time out now. We'll get somebody to play Kinda Easy Trivia. A few minutes to go here. Text in 780-218-9999. That's the Paris Jewelers inbox. If you want to play Kinda Easy Trivia this morning, let YouTube Trev know. And get into the mix. You're playing for a gift certificate from Mr. Mike's. Jay will have the questions coming up. All you need is 3 out of 5. It's very simple, and you get yourself a GC for a nice little meal or 2, you and a friend, whatever you want, down at Mr. Mike's. Steakhouse Casual. That's coming up just after the top of the hour. We'll also have 3 questions too many. That hurts for SB-LLP injury lawyers and Scalding Hot Takes, potholder on the line in-season tournament, me v YTT. That's going to come up just after 8:30, and the judge Joaquin Gage will be in the studio as well. So text Trev right now if you want to play. We'll hit a quick sports update here from Jason for Claiborne Services and be back with the third hour of the show. Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
A major season comes to an end this weekend as the world's top golfers descend upon Scotland's Royal Troon Golf Course. The field includes players from the LIV Tour as well as the PGA, which should make for compelling golf. Notable tee times still coming up this morning. Scotty Scheffler's at 8:10. Tiger Woods and Xander Schauffele teed off about 20 minutes ago. And Canada's Corey Connors is already on the course. He is +1 through 8 holes. The West Coast League All-Star Game went last night from Bellingham, Washington, where Team North faced off against Team South. Team North came out on top in dramatic walk-off fashion with a 3-2 victory. In the Western Canadian Baseball League, the Edmonton Prospects kick off a 2-game set against Brooks. First pitch is at 7:05 from Field 9 at Centennial Park in Sherwood Park. In last night's WNBA action, Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Fever fell to the Dallas Wings 101-93. And in the other game, Minnesota defeated Atlanta 86-79. In the CEBL, your 11-1 Edmonton Stingers travel to Saskatoon tonight as they face off against the 6-10 Saskatchewan Rattlers. Reminder, you can catch that game right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or the TuneIn or iHeartRadio apps. Tip-off is at 7:30. This sports update has been brought to you by Claiborne Services. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they are an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
The Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Eight o'clock. You are listening to The Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and live every morning as well on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You may have think you had. You may have said, oh, they say this every day. I'm subbed. Give it another check. Maybe you haven't been, or maybe, just maybe, you may have clicked on it again and unsubscribed. But make sure you're subscribed. It's that little bell, bottom left, below the screen. Hit it. Subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up this morning as we drive for the 300 that Jay Milne loosely promised that he would get a plug-in, some sort of electric cooling system for YouTube Trev as he continues to suffer through this heat wave. We are at 180, almost changing 200. Can we get to 3 by the end of hour 3?
There's nothing loose about that offer. That is an offer.
I'm giving you an out.
I don't want an out. I want the people to prove, hey, if you want me to buy him an air conditioner, prove it.
And if anybody has a cheap used air conditioner out there that you would like to part with, please
call me. My number is 780.
Well, let you know right now, we have kind of easy trivia coming up. 3 questions too many. You know how we do at 8 o'clock here on the Nielsen Show. But Capital Care Foundation hosting the Feast on the Field and Charity Golf Classic with special guest MC Luke Gazdick. One lucky foursome will get to spend the day golfing red tail landing with Luke. Capital Care Foundation believes everyone deserves to live with dignity. They do this by providing positive mental wellness and a home-like atmosphere. They do this with funds from events like Feast on the Field and Charity Golf Classic. So the date, August August 14 and 15. Feast on the Field is at Commonwealth Stadium. Charity Golf Classic presented by Gilead is at Red Tail Landing. For more, you can check out www.capitalcarefoundation.net. And I do believe Dusty did say loosely that we might try to get Luke Gazdag on just prior to that, and a summer touch-up from Luke, both on the Oilers and this great initiative. Feast on the Field, Charity Golf Classic, August 14-15. Once again, for more, www.capitalcarefoundation.net. We are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. Check out the boneless ghost pepper wings today. I know you've been keeping an eye on the Paris Jewelers inbox as well. Jay, a few people, it's getting pretty, it's been creative. It hasn't really been so spicy, which is fine. But a few good texts right now, I think, looking to podium for text of the day and get that $20 to A&W.
Well, Zach chimes in, and he is a firm believer that the DeLorean from Back to the Future is definitely above the Ghostbusters vehicle. And I couldn't agree more.
Sure, but have we played poker before here, boys? We all know.
You know what? I'm just glad I just get to be on the on this side of things and see all the information that you guys have gleaned in past.
Oh yeah,
I mean, look at your folder for
this
God's
is the
sake.
best part. Doing this show before the drafts and getting all that info from the Nasties, and these are the people that be voting, so it's really good. But yeah, take what you need. Pee Wee's Bike, that's another sneaky good one there from Filthy in the Nasty chat. Couldn't agree more.
Pee Wee's Bike though, like Pee Wee Herman's show was a TV
movie
show.
though.
That would, yeah, I guess.
The E.T. flying bike, hey? How many bikes can fly? That's
it could be a vehicle.
I'd say it is.
It could be an open category. I mean, if you feel like you're really strong in the vehicle category, you could transfer that over into your open category.
A herd of vehicles. Let's play some kind of easy trivia right now. Let's get right into it. Jay's got the questions. Who do we got on the line there, Trip?
We've got Georgie. Georgie.
Oh, Georgie. You're treating your body like a roller coaster amusement park or whatever it was, right? When George was in the Estelle slips or falls.
Along those lines.
Yeah, there you are. Georgie, how you doing? What's going on today, man?
Not much. How about you?
Yeah, just working. Have you played kind of easy trivia before?
Just working. I have, yeah.
What's the record? Do we know offhand? Good winning percentage? Undefeated?
I've won once, but I don't know about. I think I was 3 for 5.
Well, that's all we need. I mean, you don't need to really go into the details. We don't care how you did it. We just care that you did it. So you are a winner. You know how this goes. I'll start the ticker after Jay reads the first question. Once again, as you know, you just need 3 out of 5. And we'll get this going right now.
Right on.
Did the Elks make a coaching change this week?
Yes.
Have the Elks won a game this year?
They have not.
Is the British Open considered a major?
Yes.
Did Scotty Scheffler get arrested earlier this year?
Yes.
Is Tiger Woods golfing at the British Open?
Yes.
You got her. And you got her.
That is why I did it! At number 5! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am! Get it right!
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Oh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a paddling.
The first year, we took it to the limit.
Take it to the limit!
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
There you have it. Georgie, the winner this morning. He's off to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. You can find them 137th Avenue, Mark Messier Trail, Hampton Inn, corner of 137th Mark Messier Trail. Mr. Mike's Georgie is heading there today. It is the Nielsen Show, and we are presented by South Fort Chev. Since 1983, closer than you think, www.southfortchev.com. You can check them out in Fort Sask, 10109 89th Avenue as well. Go see Daniel, and 15% off accessories for your new ride during the month of July. We love them for that.
We met Daniel at the golf tournament, and
he's in front of us.
Yeah, it was I felt like such a I don't know, a fanboy, but I was like, "Are you the guy that has all the Nerf guns?" He's like, "Yes, I am." It was nice to meet him. Much younger than I thought.
I said this before. When you tell me that a boss of a car dealership, and I'm not trying to get ageist, but you kind of think a guy that's been working there for 30, 40 years.
He must be good.
Well, that's just it.
He must be real good.
Now the whole Nerf gun thing, that all makes a lot more sense. Like, it kind of crystallized. Real solid dude and a fun guy. So if you are in the market, Southford Chev's the place to go. Ask for Daniel. Tell him the EST team sent you. Let's get into
Tell him the EST crew sent you, and that he's younger than you thought he was. Because he's probably heard that several times. He's probably annoyed with it. Actually, say, "Wow, sir, you look old."
Yeah, and if you don't believe us, go in there and check, and you'll be surprised.
In the Paris Jewelers inbox, I haven't heard. Do you guys have a horror category?
Not yet.
And we don't, but we have a weapon. So that should cross over pretty well. Big Uke, top 5 vehicles: DeLorean, Kit, Ecto 1, Mystery Machine, Avengers Helicarrier bonus, and a bonus is Dukes of Hazzard car. I don't really think of Dukes of Hazzard. I know there was a movie, but I don't really think of it as a movie prop.
It's a show.
I think of it more of a TV show. But
Uncle Jesse says with only an hour left, you could say we're making Trev sweat.
Oh.
I think that jumps to the top for text of the day running. And yes, taking a look at the YouTube right now, we haven't even changed 200 yet. 193, which is fine. But we did say if we get to 300 or over, Jason Milne will be supplying YouTube Trev with an electric cooling machine. I won't define it as AC unit.
I'm gonna get a portable air conditioning unit.
Okay.
Let's get out of the bag.
On the record. I love it. Uncle Jesse, though, great text. And once again, if we get to 300 or over, portable AC unit, as quoted by Jason Milne, he'll be gifted.
Man, I'm just sitting here like, no wonder I've never won a draft. I'm not privy to all this information you guys get.
It's a cornucopia. It's almost too much, right? Like, you can't take it all down at once.
Wow.
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, including dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where a couple of his Mazdas have been used in props and feature films. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Check them out today. Maybe you do take a Mazda from Park Mazda in your vehicle category, but he won't be too disappointed if you don't. ParkMazda.ca is where you can find them. Boys' socials accounts. Where can people find you, Jason, online, Instagram, Twitter, and the else?
At Jason No, that's my email. Be at Jason Milne, JasonMilne.
You don't mind giving up the email, though, to the
If you want my email, it's
send him a long form.
Jason_Milne at yahoo.com.
Love it.
That's how old I am, because there's no 81s. There's no Jason_Milne.
69, sexy.
Yeah.
420.
Hot. That's my email as well. But you can follow me there. Lots of... I'm sure I'll be sending out some Instagrams and some X's this morning. I'm heading from here and meeting my lovely wife and my lovely mother-in-law for 9 holes. I'm going to go do some golfing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice
I might
day.
fall asleep, but, I'm going to give it a solid effort.
Trev?
LT. You can follow me at YouTube_Trev on Twitter.
And Instagram.
And Instagram is
a different name, though.
Party, PARDI _ boy, BOI.
You're on the gram, though, quite a bit. You and I send videos.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the gram.
More so than Twitter, eh?
Way more than Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I just got Twitter when I started here.
Yeah.
I never, I don't know. I just, like, when I was in college, they were like, you need to get it kind of thing, and I still didn't get it. But then when I was here, I was like, you know what, I should probably, everyone has it here, so, and I don't go on there very much, but I'll post occasionally, so if you want to see the random stuff I'm up to, definitely go give me a follow.
Yeah. Kyle the Embalmer says, who uses Yahoo? Me. Because I'm 42.
You just said about the age. That should be. You answered your own question in the descriptor.
I don't know Gmail or Google. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Surprised it's not a Hotmail, eh?
Okay. Question number 2. I'm gonna make question number 2.
We haven't even got one.
Okay, question number 1. Can I bring a question?
You can have a number 1.
Can I have number 1?
You can have them all.
No, I just want number 1. What do you think about the bat meal? Is a hot topic here in not only the Paris Jewelers inbox but the nasty chat. Rob the plumber says, how are you not saying Batmobile? Well, we have a few times. It's been brought up earlier, but what is the rule? What do you guys think is the rule? Because they're obviously very, very different, distinct vehicles, right?
It has wheels and drives.
But should the Batmobile from
but
this movie
different
be able to
Batmans. He's got different
like which
Batmobiles.
one?
be able to be taken and then the Batman from
We ran into this issue in
The Dark
pre-draft.
Knight.
I think it's just
Which
the
Grinch?
Batmobile.
That's it?
That's it.
See, I disagree. I normally would agree with you.
Yeah.
But I disagree on this one. I think you can. Now, it's going to be. If you're going to play that game, that's a risky game because if you say the Batman from 72, who the hell's going to know what that is? Because it's not like we post this and we put pictures up with our picks.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a slippery slope.
But maybe, okay, so just you pick whatever Batmobile you want, but then once that Batmobile is taken, it's off. That's probably the best way to go, I'd say.
Yeah, like Forbes actually ranked all the Batmobiles from film
what
history.
Is there, 15? 20?
Yeah, so 7 is the Batman Forever, the Kilmer one, 1995. 6 is Batman and Robin, the Clooney Mobile, 97. Batman Begins in the Dark Knight, the Tumbler, which took on a different look of a traditional
Was that
Batmobile.
the one with the circular
and it kind of
round wheels?
Looked like that Tesla truck type of thing. Number 4, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad, the Batflick Mobile. Maybe that one's not picked so much. Mask of the Phantasm, the animated mobile. We're not doing animation, so that's out already. You've got the 66 Batmobile, the original, which again, that was a show, but they did make a movie. So maybe that does count in technical, but Batman 89 and Batman Returns, the Keaton Mobile, I think that's the classic Batmobile that most people it's got that nose on the front, kind of sticking out, protruding, and that's the Batmobile I like. But I think you could if you could swap up a couple maybe, but certainly a few of these don't really get me going in terms of just a couple.
Big Uke is back again in the PGA inbox. Used once and all are taken. So, that's going to have to be something that ultimately gets brought up to Commissioner Quinn.
Yep, it's going to be one of those. We identify this as probably one of those. It'll be a story.
Like a hiccup.
Yep.
It could be a hiccup.
We've had this with the Grinch in the past. So, Quinn, if you're still listening, still riding with us here, that might be something you'll have to, suss out sooner than later. That was question number 1. Question number 2, it's in today's title. It's 2 words, offer sheets. Boys, and Trev specifically, are you worried about any offer sheets, potential offer sheets? Does offer sheets scare you when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers?
No, I don't think so.
No, nobody's.
there's not
going to be, the Flames are going to be Craig Conroy meddling in the background.
Yeah, and even if they did, I'm very curious to see what would happen. I feel like the Oilers would match that, but if any team were to offer sheet Holloway or Broberg, a decent amount, I'd like to think they wouldn't, because they're still pretty new, right? So you're not going to you're not going to offer them anything too crazy. And these don't really happen that often. Jesper Kotkaniemi was the last person that got offer sheeted, and you look how that turned out. It was a waste. I'm sure the Hurricanes regret doing that, so I'm not worried at all. I honestly completely forgot about the offer sheets. If it were to happen, I would not be surprised if the Oilers. I'd like to think that they'd match it.
Dusty and Gager kind of dove into this a little bit yesterday, talking about Broberg specifically, and any worry at all in terms of him receiving an offer sheet. Of course, you can throw Dylan Holloway in there too. Look, it's summertime. You go online. People are constructing these plans and hoping people do this and throw a stick in the spoke of that. But I'd probably agree. I don't see why these guys want to go. Now, money talks, I guess, and the Chase Daniel thing as well. But I'm not worried. But it does provide some good summertime nerve endings, I guess, in terms of Oilers fandom. Jeff Jackson has looked the part in terms of his management this summer, but certainly detractors and fans of other teams out there would probably like him taken down a notch or two, and that's maybe where a potential offer sheet might come in. But what's your level here, 1 to 10? -5?
I'd be more worried about Broberg, leaving the fold than Holloway, to be honest, at this point, given that Broberg seemed to have been able to carry the mail in the playoffs, so much so that the team and organization did, let Vinny Desharnais walk. So that's a positive. That is an up-and-coming young defender, but we've been here before with the likes of Darnell Nurse and, overpaid. I think, what's an offer sheet look like for Broberg? It's an overpayment. It's a gross overpayment with term and money. So unfortunately, if it happens, the Oilers, I don't know how they could match it, because I think it would be too long of a term at too high of a value that is not commanded as of yet for Broberg. So I mean, it just really depends.
It's really from another. You're kind of getting it from fan bases, and I'm going to say the one down the highway here, but it's not even like acquiring Brouwer or whatever. It's just putting the Oilers in a tough spot. More offer sheet. That's what offer sheets are, right? Like they're just gripes between managements or teams or whatever to say, hey, suck on this one.
I mean, there was a time when that was like the thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, offer sheet them so the team has to kill
And I
cap.
love it from a fan general point of view.
Yeah,
that adds a lot of spice to it.
But it seems like that has cooled off with general managers within the league. That maybe, hey, don't be a dick and don't.
There's a bit of an
right?
yeah.
Because it's happened twice since 2013, so it's not a real regular occurrence. But anything can happen.
Yeah,
it would be it'd be surprising.
Sure,
I would say. So to answer your question, not that concerned.
No. But it does provide where the Oilers are right now in terms of money and these two individuals, and maybe a club out there looking to knock them down a notch or two. Maybe see. Question 3, National Caviar Day today, boys. When I say that, do you say, oh, what a delicacy? Or do you go, ugh, fish, eggs, or whatever it is? You ever had it?
Never had caviar.
neither have I.
Always wanted to. Apparently, it's just like the best.
Like it's the fish roe or whatever it is. Like the.
It's cool, the process. Well, that's actually not. It's kind of sad, the whole process of it. But it looks really good. Everyone just
I'd dive
speaks
into
so
a bucket
highly
right
on
now.
it.
Like,
I'm
if you
very
gave me,
curious on what it tastes like. But yeah, down the road, I'll definitely try that.
Like I think I've had a bit on like a sushi, but never like a spoonful of $100 spoon caviar.
Yeah,
and
it's
as we turn to the guy that's going to provide you with an AC unit later today, I'm sure you have. How many pails of caviar do you got in the Milne household? Do you?
Well, currently we're diving into a couple different offers. We've got obviously the beluga, which is the most delicious of the caviar. But actually, we've discovered the white sturgeon to have some excellent roe as well. So right now we have 3 chilling in the wine cooler at the Milne Res. Undecided which one we're gonna dip our the crest of our hand into tonight.
Kind of how the day goes, though. You kind of feel
depends how the day. It really seems like more of a lake sturgeon caviar night itself, but it's hard to say. I've seen some videos of how they extract this, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
The circle of life, eh?
But it's amazing how much roe, because essentially you're eating eggs, fish eggs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But the amount of it that comes out of some of these sturgeon is incredible.
Doesn't stop almost, is it?
Now I wonder, because I'm completely BSing. Obviously, I've never had caviar. I don't have any desire to either. But is a lot of this? I'd imagine a lot of this is now farmed, as well as is a lot of the, salmon or tuna that you're able to buy at grocery stores. A lot of that is, the wild farms, but they're farms. And that's, I don't know. I'm not a caviar expert, but I would imagine that I
was going to ask you, does it taste different, the wild or the farmed, given your palate?
I will say this, and actually we just talked about this last night. We were over at a friend's, and they're very, they're very regimented in what they eat and what they put in their bodies, which I appreciate. But they were saying how, or sorry, we brought up that we were out in Victoria, and we went down to the wharf there, and you can literally see what they're carrying off their boats, and you can say, I want that. And they cut it up and they put it in the bag and
bing, bing,
ready
boom.
to go. And there's something, does it taste better? I don't know. I don't have a palate that fancy, but there is a certain feeling about it that exactly where that came from.
Maybe a bit of a placebo type of thing too. You're kind of
100%
breathing the air. You're kind of
you're intoxicated by the visions and the
sights,
smells and everything.
The whole bit.
Like YTT is going to be intoxicated with this new air conditioning unit that it looks like I'm going to be getting because I don't know. We've faltered.
He's
We're
sweating.
only at 222. He's sweating literally.
We're making it interesting here. And again, if you are just joining us, if we get to 300 or more likes today on the show, YouTube, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe as well if you are watching. Even if you aren't, if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeartRadio today or streaming EdmontonSportsTalk.com, pop over to the YouTube chat, hit that thumbs up because if we get to 300 or over, Jason Milne has promised an electric AC unit.
Yes.
That's it. Doesn't be portable. It's but of the window kind. You're not going to be going in there with a...
No. It's just going to be one you plug in. I don't even know what... I've done some Googling here. I know where I'm going to go get this thing. But like I said, I will not. Unless we get to 300 or more likes.
Or I counter this. You don't have to. I can just go buy one by myself.
But that's no fun.
Yeah, that's no fun.
You're on a fixed budget here.
Yeah, I mean, look at you. You're a starving student. Hey, Jasmine said it earlier. I'm rich, man. Who cares?
She just said it.
Caviar for breakfast.
Ha, JK. But no JK on that. Let's get into That Hurts real quickly here before Sports Update. Then we got the judges in the house, and he is looking fly today. Scalding Hot Takes shortly after 8:30. But That Hurts right now, courtesy SB-LLP, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Check them out, sb-llp.com. SB-LLP, let them handle the claim. No need to feel shame. You can call them as well, 780-438-5281. Personal injury lawyers at SB-LLP have the experience to gather evidence and advance your claim to ensure you get fair compensation. And the best part is you don't need to be intimidated by the process. You had something that hurt you, and you've got a prop here. I don't know if this will be involved in the draft or not, but maybe, given your story here, what's happening? What is...
Yeehaw.
We're going to take ourselves back to the Calgary Stampede last weekend.
Oh, God.
I know how everybody loves talking about the Calgary
No
Stampede.
spit roasting now.
Yeah. No, honestly, in our house, we watch the Calgary Stampede.
Do you? Okay.
Love it. We, we love watching a good rodeo. So Sunday comes around. And for those of you that don't know, Sunday is the final go round for the Stampede. That's where they have the final four in each category face off against each other, and the winner is presented a $50,000 check. The big check. So it's not this is real money, and this is a big day. So they compete all week, and they come out and there's only four that make the finals. Okay, so I'll take you to the Saddle Bronc competition. Zeke Thurston was seeking his fourth title.
Zeke's a good name.
Zeke Thurston, hailing from Big Valley, Alberta. So local guy, right? And he is taking on, so he scored here's what first happened. Him and Cade Bruno, another competitor, tied. So they had a ride-off. And when you go to a ride-off, it's this one-on-one against the other guy because they tied.
And just winner take.
And immediately right after, they just rode. So, I mean, your body, if you've seen how these guys go, it's crazy. It's a lot of thrashing and whacking. Anyways, so they go back and they do a re-ride right away. Zeke Thurston goes first, scores a 90.5. A 90.5, for those that don't know, in Saddle Bronc is an extremely good score. That's a winning score. Well, Cade Bruno comes out, and he scored a 92.
Okay.
Cade Bruno wins. Yay. So, Cade Bruno, what happens at the Calgary Stampede?
Yay.
What happens at the Calgary Stampede is as soon as you win, you run across the arena, right up onto the stage, and they present you with a check right there.
Okay.
So, Cade Bruno's running across the arena to the stage to go get his $50,000 check. Oh, hold on. We made a scoring error. Cade Bruno was actually assessed a 2-point penalty, so he scored a 90. Zeke Thurston's your winner. So Zeke Thurston is still in the arena, runs across the arena.
But where's the other guy? So he's got to...
They cross paths.
Oh, my God.
Literally cross paths, and they're like, sorry, man. Good luck next time. So Zeke Thurston comes up, and then his kids are waiting there for him. Dad, you won. Yay. So Dad and Zeke Thurston and the kids run up to the stage. They turn around and watch his whole ride on the monitors. Everybody, all 20,000 people at the Stampede are cheering for him. He gets up there and he holds up the big check and rah, I'm the winner. Fireworks going off behind him. It's everything. Well, 5 minutes later, the Calgary Stampede announces that was a mistake. That Cade Bruno was the actual winner, that he was not assessed a 2-point penalty, and there was a scoring error. So now your actual winner turned out to be Cade Bruno, who then had to come back out of the locker room, up onto the stage, and do this whole thing again. And Zeke Thurston had already just done it with his kids.
The fireworks went off.
Fireworks went off.
All. You can't
and
do that again.
When Cade Bruno went up there to get his check, there were no fireworks for him because they had already exhausted them on Zeke Thurston. That is also your hashtag EST farm report.
Yes, people have been asking.
Yeah, so there you go. So it was just a debacle. And watching this unfold live, like somebody at the Calgary Stampede should be fired for this.
Not even a delay. Hey, like you're getting it all.
We are getting.
I walked. Oh, they're doing the landscaping. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now.
The judge
said.
Case closed. Little landscaping down there at the at EST headquarters here. We're getting a sign, as Dusty said yesterday, a big sign. But
not for EST.
No, we'll be getting. There'll be a bit of a sign. That was promised. That's what I heard.
Wow. Channel letters?
Spa boys.
We talking
here?
channel letters? LED?
I want one of those turning ones.
Oh,
spinning from the 90s, like a family video type of thing. All that. But so that hurts. Hurts watching though. Hey, like it takes me back to the home run derby, and you're watching the anthem, and you're like, this is embarrassing. Why am I embarrassed? I'm not even there and doing it. But it makes you squirm. Because people putting on the event, they want it to go right. This has all been planned, and now you're in it, and you can't really do much about it.
Well, it's what it is it's like it's just it's so cringe.
Yes, but you got to go right through it.
Especially because you saw Zeke Thurston run up there with his kids, and like
the kids,
and the jubilation that you experienced from being the champion. All this happened within a span of 10 minutes. Keep in mind, 10 minutes. Ugh, crazy. Tube Sucks says Calgary's gonna Calgary. Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah, well, we can always kind of.
And then in the PJ inbox, that sounds like the most Calgary thing ever.
Yeah, and that's what we can all gather around is taking shots at Calgary and how they run things. That's just. These are big events, and obviously that was like a major. You do. Doing what we do here, like you plan for stuff and you go through. Maybe you go.
Oh, you're
through
allowed to screw up here.
No, you're allowed to screw up. But what I'm saying is, like when you're doing things live or whatever, like you can't just stop it and be like, okay, we're gonna actually drop the curtain.
Yeah.
Like, well, we'll fix all this up. You're in it. You got to do it and you got to go through it. So, and you got to award it to whatever score they had there, right or wrong, I guess.
There's a lot of passion about this. Round of clicks for our listeners out there. I didn't know how this was going to go over because I don't know if anybody actually cares about the Calgary Stampede anymore. I certainly do, but that is hilarious. There's I hope someone from the Stampede is fired for that F up.
Well,
I'm sure somebody is because so little backstory here, little bit of gravitas you would say is my wife was the Calgary Stampede princess back in the day. Back in 2007. So we've been to a lot of Stampedes and we've been to a lot of events, and they take this very seriously, almost too seriously, some would say. But I can assure you that they did not take that lightly. And yes, Pat Janix, you're right. Even if you finish second at the finals, you still leave with a $20,000 check.
Ooh.
So it's like 50, 20, 50.
Doesn't hurt that much. Yeah, 50, 20, who cares, right? Like,
who cares? It's
still
only
gets
30
you a
grand.
boatload of caviar with that payday there. Maybe a smaller check, though, than the original bigger vanity check. But
I'll tell you what I'd do with 50 grand. I'd run right down to South Fort Chev. And I'd get myself a pickup truck.
Take advantage of that 15% off accessories, too, while you're at it.
Might as well. Maybe shoot a couple Nerf guns.
Change You Get Back by Trevor Nacy. And I'd want to get this to another text from Dustin Nielsen here. A&W, you can visit A&W. Come chill your thirst with a new frozen A&W root beer made with natural cane sugar, natural flavors, and blended with ice. Picked one up the other day, actually. Delicious. Most refreshing part, limited time. When you buy any size frozen A&W root beer, you'll get a second frozen A&W root beer for free. So a great promotion now with the heat especially. Double the flavor, double the chill, double the joy for one delicious price. Hurry in and try one today. Offer valid for a limited time. A&W Brew Bar locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. Most drive-thrus open 24 hours. So screw the Slurpees right now. Get yourself an A&W frozen root beer today. Buy one, get one free. Not a bad deal there for our friends at A&W. And you can do that today via text of the day, which is still ongoing, 780-218-9999. If you have a text about Stampede or anything else we've been discussing this morning, get it in, add a little flair to it, and you could win text of the day, $20 to A&W. If we don't hit 300 likes, Vera Montenegro says Glue Guy will provide chilled tins of caviar for a comfortable YTT slumber tonight. Maybe that's what we settle on here, hey, going through the show. 8:32, we'll get to a sports update right now for Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. We'll be back. Scalding Hot Takes, Walking Gauge Judge will be in studio. It is the potholder on the line, LTEVYTT. It is the Nielsen Show here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Major season comes to an end this weekend as the world's top golfers descend upon Scotland's Royal Troon Golf Course. The field includes players from the LIV Tour as well as the PGA. Scotty Scheffler teed off at 8:10. Tiger Woods and Xander Schauffele are on the course. They started at 7:37. And Canada's Corey Connors is currently 1 over through 10 holes. The West Coast League All-Star Game went last night from Bellingham, Washington, where Team North faced off against Team South. Team North came out on top in dramatic walk-off fashion with a 3-2 victory. In the Western Canadian Baseball League, the Edmonton Prospects kick off a 2-game set against Brooks. First pitch is at 7:05. That goes tonight out in Sherwood Park. In last night's WNBA action, Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Fever fall to the Dallas Wings 101-93, and in the other game, Minnesota defeated Atlanta 86-79. The 11-7 Edmonton Stingers travel to Saskatoon tonight as they face off against the 6-10 Saskatchewan Rattlers. Reminder, you can catch that game right here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or the TuneIn or iHeart Radio apps. Tip-off is at 7:30. This sports update has been brought to you by Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. BMPP is a real pizzeria restaurant, not just a delivery pizza chain, serving authentic Italian cuisine with their made in-house pizza dough, traditional tomato sauce, and fresh toppings. Each pizza is cooked to perfection, a pizza experience you've been waiting for. Visit them at 12848 97th Street. Order today, www.bmpp.ca, or call 587-746-0550.
Take it every little piece, don't you leave nothing left for me. Oh, break it every little part of my heart unceremoniously. Oh, I know guys out there, they look like lots of fun, but they don't care who you are or where you come from. Got me banging on my head. Keep banging, don't you stop banging, baby.
8:35, it is the Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as well on YouTube, where we are of flirting with that 300. Like this is gonna be a photo finish. This is gonna be like the Stampede for you, Jay. We might be going over 300, back down to minus 300, whatever you want to say. But 247 right now.
Lead change.
247. The likes on YouTube, and if we hit the 300 or over, Jason Milne will be getting an AC unit for YouTube Trev during this heat. My Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, obviously in for Dustin Nielsen today. He'll have the call tomorrow. Regina, Riders, Bombers, Week 7 in the CFL kicking off. It's the second half of a doubleheader as the Elks will kick off the week. They're in Ottawa under Jarius Jackson to take on the Red Blacks, and YouTube Trev returns as well. Busy day here around EST. Little landscaping out front, doing up the building right. So that's going to look nice heading into the future here. And we're also joined by our Scalding Hot Takes judge, Joaquin Gage. And Scalding Hot Takes is for Claiborne Services. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They're hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers, apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they are an industry leader in safety. Check them out, www.claiborneservices.com, or make it easy. Call Jeff, 780-910-6728. And we welcome in the judge. How are you doing, Your Highness?
I don't think anyone can hear me.
Nope, mic's off, so we can hear it. Get in there. Here.
I'm good.
The judge says he's good, so we're all good. Judge is here. I do think as well we have Rick Pinter back for the show, so he might be doing his little thing. But, Jay, you can also play along. I mean, I know you've been filling in for Rick Pinter over the past couple of weeks, which we really appreciate. So, I mean, do whatever. Boys, we can all share mics here. It's all good. We'll get this thing going. But I am the reigning champ. It is the in-season tournament, the pot holder on the line. Dustin Nielsen has the mitt, correct? He's the mitt holder. You got the mitt? You got the mitt. You're looking to be doubled up now. Yes. Look at this. What's it doing hiding in there? It should be on your hand all show. There we go.
That feels nice.
Trev's got the mitt. He's got it
feels
on.
good. Here,
coming after the pot holder. Wants to make it 2 for 2. I love it. Judge, yeah, I mean, we don't need to get... You'll be with me tomorrow. Once again, Dustin Nielsen away, and back on Monday as well. So we'll get into more of your thoughts, offer sheets, and the whole bit tomorrow. Of course, the Hungaro ring beckons. Hey, there we go. Now, so maybe that's a path to victory today as well. But Scalding Hot Takes, if we're all ready to go, I guess I am the pot holder, so I'll go first. YouTube Trev, you'll have the hammer between the two of us here.
Am I acting as Rick Pinter?
So I think I have everything. I just want to see something quickly here.
Okay.
Time now for
So if I do that,
takes.
And then if
That's a hot take.
Okay, so we're good.
That's
okay.
a hot take.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I can play both of them or all of them at the same time, kind of thing, you know? Right?
We got to get it right.
Yeah.
And we will get it right, and we'll get it right going if you're good to go. And again, you're doing the takes and you're doing all that, so appreciate you there, Trev. And yeah, let's get this thing going. Let's rumble.
Who starts?
I'll start. You have the hammer.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
Time now for Scalding Hot Takes.
If the country of Hungary ever wanted to curb immigration, it could always change its name to full.
Careful, that takes hot.
Jarius Jackson has big shoes to fill as Chris Jones set the bar real high.
That's a hot take.
Chris Jones, more like Jim Jones.
Hot take alert.
Tennis is not a sport.
Wow, scalding hot take.
The Hungaro ring sounds like a piece of sausage.
The hottest of takes.
Ingrid Address wasn't drunk. She was just taking singing lessons from a thief.
Wow, scalding hot take.
I could do a better national anthem than most people that do them today.
The hottest of takes.
LeBron James is Michael Jordan's acolyte.
Careful, that takes hot.
Offer sheets, more like laughter sheets.
That's a hot take.
Xavier Bourgault, more like Xavier Bourgault away because no one likes you.
Hot take alert.
Ooh, you're getting hot in here, eh?
Ooh, that was good.
Hot in here. Whew. Okay, well, it is quick, it's punchy. Both of us didn't really go on with any sort of, you know.
Yeah, we were. That
back
was
in the day.
that was
This
tricky.
guy and this guy, he was bang, 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 bang. The bullets were whizzing.
Dustin makes it look so easy.
Well done, boys. Well done. It's going to stay even, though. Eric is going to keep the mitt. Terrible tennis take.
Oh!
Whoa! Oh, okay.
You're on.
Rise.
I love tennis.
And see, that's just kind of what happens sometimes. You got to play to the judges, right?
Terrible take. Oh, that's
let's,
so good.
Let's
actually.
recap again. What was the tennis? Did you have multiple
I
tennis
just
shots?
said tennis is not a sport because Just because
he said it
Glue
earlier,
Guy, Glue
and
Guy.
I did like this earlier in
and
the
that
show
was-
because it was a hot take. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so I was
I
just like-
voted. I did voting on the side because I was really not doing anything at that moment, and I had YTT by a half point.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
This seems farcical.
I appreciate
Hey? Yeah. No, and that's tennis
close.
a game, not a sport. Hey.
He is a tennis fan though, so that makes sense. I mean, his feelings got hurt about that.
Yeah.
and I don't blame him.
I came in with a couple F1 takes, as I like to do with the judge. I mean, that's you gotta. But that's good. I mean, it stays divided. You get the mid again,
Oh,
which
that
is
would've been
fine.
cool though.
To have both. It's quite a feeling.
One day. But
You get seated at restaurants. You can cut in lines. They're like, "Oh, Mister,
Yeah. I imagine
right this
so.
way, sir. We got the table for you." The Xavier Bourgault one. I like that one.
Yeah, thank
That's-
you. I'm happy I made it
Very
close because usually I come in the morning and I have at least one hot take that I have the 3 hours to think of.
Yeah.
But I had one hot take last night, and that was the Bourgault one. And the rest, I had to come up with 4 during the show. So that's never happened, and I'm very happy. At least I made it close, so I'm happy with that.
Some of the best takes happen during the show. It's
Yeah.
recency. It's
If
hot.
you just don't think too much. And
Right
just,
off the press,
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
O-Town says Bourgault would have been smoother. Well, but again, you take this, you move on. You're
Yeah.
like, you learn a bit there, and that's nice. Total robbery. Get that judge off the bench that comes in for modular Mike. Well, it's the judge and I spend some
respect the
time. Yeah,
judge.
you have to respect the judge, but people can be bought. He is human after all. Leave it at that. Where are we at with the likes here as well as we get past the third hour here of the Nielsen Show? It is a Thursday, a hot one. Dog days of summer.
2:59. I mean, you've got 18 minutes left. So
Well, and look, I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now. We're kind of don't got much else on the menu to get to here. Your texts, your messages, in the nasty chat.
we do have breaking news. We do have breaking news in the prop draft.
Please.
There has been some discussion throughout the show
Lots.
between Dustin and Commissioner. I mean, Dustin's kind of the, I'd say he's the Al Davis of the ownership groups. His voice does... What? Does... Oh... I didn't say me. I didn't say me and Dustin.
Correcting your grammar.
I said Dustin.
Anyways,
grammar police over here. Jeez.
Ignore.
Hey, anyways, yeah, like I said, Dustin's kind of the Al Davis of the management groups here.
Absolutely,
I would say his
yeah.
voice carries a considerable amount more weight. So he came back with this. He wants 20 rounds because he is right in that we usually finish at like 10-10.
Oh no! And I was
then
to
there's
the
a lot of-
timeline. I was joking. We can zip through these. It's
Oh yeah. So weapons 3, vehicle sports 3, vehicle 1, food 1, furniture 1, clothing item 1, hat 1,
okay.
prosthetic, a MacGuffin prop. What's a MacGuffin? An object the characters of the movie are trying to achieve, like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. Or the Holy Grail in Indiana Jones. A MacGuffin prop. And open for 6 now. And then he still needs one more category.
one more category to be named. So, and that kind of whittles down the 10 open. Okay, so is that structure more pleasing to you? Like it's more of a instead of just wide open. Now you got to pick a hat. You got to pick a glove, a sock. The whole bit.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a very broad draft.
Lots of places to go, and as usual with the drafts, I'm kind of anxious to see the free agent list because that's the ones that we don't settle on. Obviously, listeners are like, oh, you idiot, you didn't pick that, and that
Well,
usually becomes the list.
I don't know how many of these can't be picked.
Well, what's the other category then? 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. Let's fill this one out once again. Weapons, sports, vehicle, food, furniture, clothing item, hat, prosthetic, the McMuffin prop?
MacGuffin.
Is that named after somebody? Like,
I have no idea.
I've never heard of this before until just
came
now.
out of left field.
McGuffin prop, and then one more category to add to the open, which will require 6. So if you have another category outside of those, please let us know. Help us shape this thing, as this is listener-driven, listener-powered. We want to do this kind of for you. So if you have anywhere you'd like to go with the draft in a category, one more category we need, and probably one selection for that category, 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. Yeah, that's
Off the top of my head,
I don't know what else we can go. Like pants? You're talking some sort of monetary, like money? We have the weapon.
Maybe we add a fourth weapon. Weapons are.
I could add another one to another category. Yeah. I think we could do that.
Fourth weapon or something
Two
like
prosthetics. Science and technology, Aaron the accountant says. Is that something a little too broad, maybe? Joel, again, I think it was Joel earlier, the horror prop. We got to that? Would you have time for that?
Well, it's going to cross into the weapon. I mean, but yes, or we could go 2 vehicles. What about 2 vehicles?
I think there's enough.
Having
in the
only
vehicle.
one vehicle is not enough. I think we can go 2 vehicles. I'm going to send that in right now.
I'm good with any of it. Y'all let me know, and I'll get. As again, I've
There's
done the
so
body
many
work.
vehicles. Yeah.
It's just now in terms of ranking them and such. And speaking of rankings, if you did miss earlier today, Dustin Nielson. What are we giving him? A 96%, 98%? Yes, Paul, you hear me? In his ESPN, trying to get the top 25. The top 25 are released today in ESPN's list of 100 athletes.
I'd say he was about 80%.
80%. And now what I want to know is I want to compare his list, to which I have right here. It's all on the record here.
Yep.
To Iwanik's list, which he cobbled together in the hangout yesterday. I'd like to see how close either of them get and which one pips the other, because I know that'll be a bragging right around the office. And don't forget, Trev, you had Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Don't sleep on this one.
Don't
sleep on this
KG.
one. It's the one off his list, and you mentioned it yesterday.
And Dusty was like, no, Trev, no.
I think he called you dumb.
He might have.
He called you dumb?
I think he got up. He was so mad.
He's
He was
like,
just
no.
offended. Are you?
Yeah. He kind of does that sometimes when I say things. I'm just like, really?
You got to take this Garnett thing and really like.
Yeah, I'll let him. I'll let him
really
hear it
run
for
with
sure.
it. Yeah,
he's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
listening, right? No, he's boarding the plane
He
now.
should be
but
boarding. Yeah, he should be off. As mentioned, Dustin Nielsen. CFL duties week 7. That begins tomorrow with a doubleheader. Elks Red Blacks out in Ottawa, 5:00. Bombers Riders following at 7:30. And we shall let you know for that Elks game. You can join Jason Milne, Maddie Iwanik down at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. 4:00, they'll have your Green and Gold kickoff show. And obviously, following tomorrow night's game, breaking it all down on the post-game show, Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Of course, I'm there Monday and Thursdays during the NFL season. If you haven't been, check it out. If you have, you know what's going on there. A great little community in that place, and some good specials as well, Jay, for game days and such. The smoky that I've been hearing so much about.
It's the jalapeno cheddar smoky. A little funny story about that. I think our second on location there, T-Roy came by for a visit.
He has a residency there, doesn't he?
It seems to do, yes. And he decided to have the special, which was the jalapeno smoky with the waffle fries, I might add, which are, as we discovered, are a great pairing with vinegar. They didn't have... the malt
Need
vinegar.
the malt. Bring your own malt if you're going.
Bring your own malt. BYOM. But T-Roy was there, and he had his jalapeno and cheddar smoky, and his first reaction to it after was, man, that was good, but wow, I didn't know there'd be jalapenos on it. And we said, T-Roy, do you see what it says on the menu?
And what's it called again? The
jalapeno.
So that's the first word. I thought it was maybe down the line. He said cheese smoky. Oh, cheese. I'm sold. And then, but the first word in that
jalapeno and cheddar smoky would allude that there are jalapenos on it.
I'd bet on it.
Probably a lot of them too.
If that's the first word, I'd say it's the driver of the wiener.
I think that would be understood. That yes, this expect to have your mouth on fire with jalapenos.
Oh, T-Roy. I think Atif might be wheeling down to see you guys tomorrow as well. And I'm not putting it out of the realm of a possibility of me heading down there, but it's going to be a busy Friday. But certainly check the boys out or give them a listen as well. Tomorrow, 4:00, Green and Gold kickoff show, setting up Elks and Red Blacks, and now that I have you, Jane, quickly, and I know you were on the scene, Commonwealth, the day of Jones, the exit alongside Tommy Gazzola, and great coverage there, but I guess your thoughts, a general thought on all this. I mean, a lot of people thinking this should have happened yesterday in terms of, go back down the line, multiple chances last season, this season even. But again, short week. I think playing a team, too, that you just played certainly doesn't hurt in terms of preparation. On a short week, revenge on their minds. But, this was going to happen eventually. Chris Jones, the time was running out. You could argue the sand was already passed through. Expectations now for Jarius on an interim basis. I'm a little bullish just looking at the roster and knowing the talent that they do have. Certainly some holes, right? But let's see.
Well, I mean, I think it's got to start with that defense. If they can figure it out or make some adjustments, I'm not sure, how or what exactly, but you had 3 players that were over 100 yards in receiving last game for the Ottawa Redblacks. 3 players were over 100 yards. If there was a prop bet for that, I bet you would be 100,000 to 1. It doesn't happen.
Maddie made a quarter.
Yeah, Maddie would have made $100. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, this is a big game. I mean, they're an 0-5 team. They're the most talented 0-5 team, I think, in CFL history. 3 walk-off losses in a row. That is almost.
Well, you couldn't plan it. If you went out and tried to plan that, you couldn't do it.
It's hard to explain. It's hard to wrap your head around. But at the end of the day, they're 0-5.
Yep.
Now, we all know that the top man, Rick Lawlisher, was very adamant, almost to to an angered, I guess, response that this season is not over. In the CFL, they like to put things into thirds, and we're not even through the first third yet. So, I mean, obviously, winning changes everything. A win in Ottawa this week would go a long way, not only just to get off the schneid, but to get some momentum going in the right direction, because it's not a terrible team, even though what happened in the last couple games with their defense. I mean, you got to give McLeod Bethel-Thompson in that offense credit. You have to give Jarius Jackson, although I don't like his play calling. I'd like to see Kevin Brown get the ball more.
Fair enough.
Obviously, we alluded to what his comments were at the presser, and if I'm a betting man, I'm saying that Trey Ford's going to have some packages put in so that he can get in and totally change the dynamic of the offense, albeit for 1 or 2 series.
Yeah.
But it really puts the defense on your heels when you do that. So the question was all season, why isn't that happening? Well, we know why now. This was a Chris Jones decision. Chris Jones did not want Trey Ford in the game. Chris Jones did not believe in Trey Ford. And, I don't think he should be the starting quarterback either. I've been very outspoken about that. But yes, he should have packages that are put in, and not gimmicky things, 3rd down and 1, all that. Like, give him a down. Give him first down, second down.
Yeah.
Like, give him a package that displays what he can do. Get him out of the pocket. If it's not there, take off and run. Like stuff like that. So it should be exciting to see what happens on Friday. Will the Trey Ford package come out on Friday? I don't think
it's a quick turnaround here to kind of implement all that.
It's very
3
fast.
or 4 days, but
yeah, it's very fast. But stranger things have happened.
It's the CFL. Why not? The guy is familiar with the league, is familiar with the game, and I think a lot of people are kind of agreeing with what you're saying there in terms of you're paying MBT the money. You can't have him sit. You're not going to sit him on the bench. And again, he hasn't been playing bad. It's funny that the Tiger Cats and the Elks right now, 2 quarterbacks who are actually playing out of this world so far. I mean, in terms of numbers and stats. So, but you mentioned, and I think Rick Lawlisher mentioned as well, 0-5 for the casual fan. That's what they look at. They're not watching, the tail of the tape in every single down. But I do think we had Rick on the other day, and I really took this. The question was, how much of the communication in terms of you dictating the football on the field stuff, and he said, well, I'm not a football guy. I'm and that's fine. He defined himself as he is in the office and everything. But he said, we did have a conversation about quarterbacks and how this franchise has used multiple quarterbacks in the past. And I've always professed, in an 18-game at least CFL season, why not? And when he gives you such a different look than MB, they're the same. They're the same type of build, same type of style. I get, well, what's the trade-off here? But you give me a couple of drives with McLeod Bethel-Thompson and you toss in a Trey Ford for a drive. I mean, that's really changing things up. And as you mentioned, Jay, keeping the defense on their heels. So it's going to be interesting. Again, much to expect on a short week after this change, perhaps not. But interesting nonetheless, because if they do get a result, the Tiger Cats visit town next Sunday. So that should be something, again, where you see 2 quarterbacks who are out dueling the league right now, but both residing at 0-5. So kind of interesting times. Of course, as mentioned, Jay Milne, Matt Iwanek, Green and Gold kickoff show tomorrow here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coverage gets underway at 4, and you can join the boys. They'll be live set up Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, you can go to William Huff. They are here. I'm going to find their liner. Since 1952, William Huff, rapping the city, and they can rap you as well. Check them out, williamhuff.com today. Boys, what did we learn on the show this morning? I know we've been keeping up with the PGA and the Open Championship and the leaderboard there, but anything else sticking out at you today?
I learned that tennis is a sport.
You did.
And a damn good sport.
And Trev
and everybody loves tennis.
Trev found out the hard way.
Yeah, what the heck?
Maxime Comtois as well, signing with the KHL's Dynamo. He's off to Moscow. So Maxime Comtois, we bid you farewell. And it looks like Tiger Woods also has teed off here at the Open Championship. So keep an eye on that. Any texts of the day sticking out to? I know we had a few clubhouse leaders earlier on in the first couple hours, but
yeah, we're gonna go with talking about the Olympics coming up in Paris. Rip City Step had an all-time text. It was defecating in a river in Paris. That's insane.
A few people tried to imitate that one, but that's the OG.
It was
That's
emulated.
the OG.
It was emulated. That was the OG. So congrats, Rip City Step. You're insane in the membrane.
And the Rip City.
He's going AW. And as mentioned, the AW, where is it here again? It's not on the sheets. It's you buy one of the chilled frosted root beers today, you get the second one for free. So that's the promotion right now from AW.
Seriously?
St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Devon, Edmonton, Brew Bar locations. Frozen AW root beer. Limited time. You buy any size frozen AW root beer, you'll get a second for free. That's going on right now. And it's running for a little while. So A&W Brew Bar locations, that will be where Rip City Step is going. Enjoy today's step. And where are we at on the like count on YouTube as well? Just to recap, if we hit 300 or over, Jason Milne will be supplying YouTube Trev with an electric AC unit. We are sitting at 282, and we have 3 minutes. 282, 18 likes in 3 minutes. Can we do it? 18 likes on YouTube in 3 minutes.
I really want this for you, buddy.
Don't give
I
in
really
to peer
want
pressure.
to-
You don't have to
Really
do it.
You're being nice about it. I get it, Trev, but I mean, you've
just
got to
go-
get the
I don't
second
want
line
to.
here.
I don't want to think of you rubbing Budweisers all over your belly and
Well, it's-
putting Crown Royal down your pants just to stay cool.
It's okay. It's honestly okay. There's worse things that are going on in the world. I'll
Well,
be fine. I'll be fine. Like, if that's my issues, I'm doing pretty good.
True.
I guess the people have spoken and they don't want you to be comfy.
That is
That's
okay.
kind of what I'm getting at here. Joel has the hashtag beat the heat for YTT. Beat the heat for YTT. Risp must be a father with jokes like that. Excellent. Yeah, I do believe he is. Rip City Step, working man as well. So he's getting his dues. 284. I don't know, boys. Little
Moving the needle.
Trev
2 likes.
Trev
so
wins today. He denies the AC unit. No, he says, I will not be
I
cool
don't want it.
at someone else's expense.
287.
We got 2 minutes here. And
don't.
sometimes we even end the show at around 9:02. Like
I want this for you.
we don't have a hard clock here at EST Studios
like this.
anymore.
Don't let Trev fry.
The hangout is coming up next, though. Maddie Iwanek, Tom Gazzola is here. Dean Millard as well. will be
292.
joining him. He's warming up. in the
Don't
bullpen.
do it. I don't want this darn unit.
Should be a good
please.
hangout. 292. What are we at now?
Oh,
It's got
gosh.
to be switching. We'll get there now. 296. Oh, you're gonna be cool tonight.
You're
Trev.
gonna
Tell
be
you that.
cool.
We're gonna
Okay,
even
no.
hit it
You're
before
gonna be
9.
cool.
Won't even need the 901.
don't want
Actually, I'm watching the official clock.
I'm gonna sell it.
in the.
Okay, I'm going to wrap
the
this up
studio
now, and
here.
it's going to be 300 by the time I'm done. Adam Stanley and Mike Tanier, our guests this morning. We appreciate Adam Stanley, his thoughts on the Open Championship. Mike Tanier on NFL offseason. Did we get it? I didn't even go through the first 2 hours that we got.
Changing 300.
AJ 300. He's a cool boy.
He's
gonna
one
be
cool
tonight.
cucumber. Yeah. I know it's a little late, but screw it. Oh, Eric.
Look. This is a miracle, and we thank you for this generous offer today too, Jay.
Yeah.
This was not expected. This wasn't something planned behind the curtain. But I look forward
It
to
just
this.
came up naturally.
I want
and,
somebody taking the picture of the exchange.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll be going to look for a portable air conditioning unit. Like I
Nice.
said,
Great.
garage sales are starting today. If you have a garage sale and you
yes.
are,
Reach out.
to me. If you're selling one secondhand, please let me know. Ooh, Sully.
And me know, because I can also do it.
Trev. You know what?
I feel
Part
bad.
of-
I can.
part
no,
of,
glue guy.
Trev, it's enough. You're getting the AC, and that's enough.
I can.
Turn off the mic. That's enough. Look, people are saying, I'm smiling big. Kid deserves some spoiling. No more swass for YTT. We got a cool boy. And, we also, come on, Trev, you'll be a hero to your female roommates. So, Duck Dad saying right there.
Look at this. Everybody's so happy for you.
I did nothing. I'm doing nothing.
I mean,
I'm going to return it and
No,
take
you're
it
not.
in,
I'm
and
throwing
then I'm
away
going to
the
buy
receipt, and
I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
buy
open
you
it.
a gift with it.
No. Screw
Trev's
you.
getting an AC. We hit 300. Thank you very much for listening and watching today. That'll be the end of it. There's no more debating here. You're getting him the AC.
Yeah.
And that'll be.
A deal's a deal.
We'll hear no more of
I feel
it.
bad, man.
I don't take things back.
Walking Gauge will be in tomorrow. Dustin Nielson will have the call in Regina CFL Week 7 for Jason Milne. A cool boy behind the monitors and YouTube Trev and the AC supplier. Once again, Jay, thank you for your time today.
Instead of the glue guy, maybe I should be the cool guy.
Give the fucking Hangout coming up next. Looks like a packed house. Walking Gauge will be in tomorrow. We'll lead you off to the weekend the only way we know how. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, keep it on. Autoplay will take you right over. I love you. Stay cool.